preview earlier today, but it looks like they have actually put up a couple of bits and bobs. So let's jump over and have a look, see what it is that we are dealing with. So we've got Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. They're going to be in the house, it says, following a chaotic brawl. We've got Ilya Dragunov. He's going to do an open challenge. So it looks like Ilya is going to be continuing those fantastic open challenges. And there's still a lot of really great people for him to defend against. Johnny Gargano, Axiom. I mean, you could go like Alex Shelley. You could go Saban. You could go Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. You could go back through like Carmelo Hayes. You know, you could go Rey Fenix again. You could go Shinsuke again, because obviously this is Ilya. So, you know, they've not faced Ilya. So you could go back round. So I'm not sure. There's no words, or not that I've seen yet, as to who the person is going to be. But yeah, looking forward to that. I don't think it's going to be Shinsuke or Rey Fenix. They're actually in a tag match. They're going to be taking on the MFTs. Tiffany Stratton is going to be taking on Kiana James. And as well as that, yes, Shinsuke, Rey, MFTs. So we've got Cody and Drew. That's the headline. We've got Ilya Open Challenge, women's match, tag match. It looks okay. I mean, I don't know if there's a great deal here that's going to kind of really get people excited. I don't know if there's anything here that feels like essential. I mean, I don't expect Ilya to lose the title at the first time of defending it. And also Tiffany, Kiana, probably not a match that's going to get too many people excited. We haven't seen much of Kiana. So for those of us that are really into WWE, it's going to be interesting to see how Kiana does in a singles match on the main roster. She hasn't had many of those. Obviously, she's been injured quite a bit. Come back from that injury. Now she's kind of partnered up with Julia. So I'm down for the match, but it's not one that I think is going to bring in a lot of people. And then we got Shinsuke and Rey against MFTs, which is really random. Just strikes me as really random. I know that the MFTs have been attacking people, but Shinsuke and Rey Fenix is just a very random combination. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to the show, but yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Halloween Havoc tomorrow as well. We've got a big day tomorrow. So I am just aware that, you know, there's a lot of streaming tomorrow. We're going to be doing UFC. So UFC is going to be obviously a big, big show tomorrow. The heavyweight championship is on the line. And then as soon as that finishes, we begin our Halloween Havoc stream. And that looks to be a very fun card as well. So big, big day of streaming tomorrow. So this is a little bit like the calm before the storm. Asib, hello. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Asib says, Daze, do we think the wrestling would be more fun if you had a transfer window instead of seeing the same guys and you had to wait for contracts to expire? Yeah, I suppose it would, but I mean, it's just not going to be possible, is it? Because of the fact that, you know, you've got these different promotions that invest their time building up stars. So, I mean, I suppose in a way you've got a little glimpse with TNA working with WWE. It just means that, like, you know, a Joe Hendry can pop up, a Hardy Boys can pop up. You can have people come in from a different promotion. I would imagine that it's even better in AEW with them working with New Japan and CMLL and Stardom, I believe they're working with as well. So, you know, they can bring in talent. I suppose the problem is that the world just doesn't really have that many big promotions. I mean, WWE is absolutely far and away the market leader. And then number 2 is probably AEW. Number 3 is New Japan or TNA. And then I think CMLL is the next one. And, like, you know, we're not dealing with these major powerhouses. And it's not like we've got like a WWE in Japan that's the same size, and a WWE in Europe that's the same size, and a WWE in, you know, Mexico, and all this kind of, like, it's really thin, isn't it, really, if you think about it? It's really thin, like the amount of promotions, big promotions. There's probably lots of little indie promotions, but so, like, even if you do work with, like, the next biggest promotion, I don't know how exciting fans find that. I mean, if WWE worked with New Japan, I don't think WWE fans would care, because there's so many New Japan talents that WWE fans have never heard of and have just got no star power whatsoever. New Japan's gone through this massive change, and so they've now got a load of kind of emerging talent, a lot of prospects, a lot of young lions, a lot of people that they're really got a lot of hope for, but they're not like big global stars. And you could argue there's a couple there, but I don't think if you brought in Zack Sabre Jr., the average WWE fan would give a flip. So I think it's hard with, like, doing a transfer window. Not that it's possible, but to be honest, the vast amount of promotions, I don't even think would have an impact, even if that was in place. So it would have to be between WWE and AEW, wouldn't it? That would have to be the relationship. That's the one that would excite the most people, because then you would get, like, a Jon Moxley, and you would get, like, maybe a Daniel Bryan. Not that I think he would wrestle, but at least he could come back in. And, you know, Tony Storm and, you know, people like that. It'd have to be working with the second biggest promotion, which is AEW. So, yeah, even if you implemented it, I'm not sure that it would actually make a difference other than that one promotion that operates in Jacksonville. Right, Mayor Pete said, did you hear the crazy rumor from PW Insider that Andrade might go back to WWE? I haven't, no. Has that recently dropped, has it? Probably about 2-3 hours behind, I would say, with the news. Probably about 2-3 hours behind. So if that's dropped recently, I've not seen it. I don't see that happening. I mean, they've just let him go. So WWE aren't interested in him. So it wouldn't really make any sense for him to go back. Robbie said, Daze, thoughts on WWE dropping the Wyatts from tomorrow's AAA Heroes Immortals show against Pagano and Psycho Clown? Well, do you know what, Robbie? I've heard a couple of conflicting reports on that, because I want to say about 2 weeks ago, I saw that graphic that had them removed. And I can't remember who it was. I can't remember if it was Fadeaway Media. It was someone on X that was like, the Wyatts have been removed from this match. And then moments later, they were like, oh, I've just heard, actually, they are still competing. Forget it. And I was like really confused, because clearly the graphic showed that they weren't in that match. But then the same person said they'd just been told, they'd just found out that the match was still actually happening. So I believe this is an open challenge, right? I believe that Psycho Clown, Pagano are going to issue an open challenge. I am still sat here wondering if the Wyatt Six are going to answer that challenge. If they don't, I am still sat here wondering if the Wyatt Six are still going to make their presence felt, right? Because I can't remember who it was that went through that little, oh, they're not on the show. Oh, don't worry about it. They are actually. So, yeah, I'm very much in the dock. I mean, what I would say is, if I hadn't have seen what I've just said, I would say it's probably because the Wyatts are going into a feud with the MFTs. So it's probably that they don't really have time to be getting into something with Pagano and Psycho Clown. I mean, obviously, the question would then be, well, why did they start that feud? Why did they go down there and actually start a confrontation if you was not going to follow up on it? And, I mean, listen, all I could say is maybe plans changed. You know, maybe they thought there was a bit of a window. That window is now gone. You know, we've been able to move forward with the MFT's feuds. Maybe there was a little bit of doubt as to when Tama was going to be coming back. I think what this shows, hopefully, is how difficult it is in creative, because it's not just one show that you're having to worry about. I mean, there are times where you're having to worry about AAA. I mean, Dominic Mysterio is going to have to be free for certain AAA shows because he's their mega champion. So he is going to need to be able to go down there and defend the belt. So, if you're WWE, you've got to make sure that Dominic is free on those dates. And, you've got to make sure Wyatt Six are free on those dates. So I don't think it's a sign of anything bad, as in like they're sick again or there's an illness or an injury or anything. I don't think it's anything like that, because it's been a good couple of weeks actually since that graphic changed and they were removed. And then I can't remember who it was. It was someone on X. It was someone on X that kind of deals with news. They said that they had just heard or they'd just read or they'd just found out that the match was still going ahead. So I don't know if I can trust that. But personally, I'm still expecting the Wyatt Six to have some sort of presence on that show. And if they don't, then I will just put it down to the fact that we've started this MFT feud. And actually, I think there's every chance the Wyatt Six make their presence felt in the Shinsuke Rey Fenix match tonight. So I would just put it down to that. So I don't think it's a biggie at the moment. I don't think it's a biggie. I don't have it as a biggie. But something worth keeping an eye on. Carl said it's sad to hear about Piper. She hasn't reached her full potential yet. Hoping for a full and speedy recovery. Yeah, so Piper Niven, unfortunately, neck injury is what the reports were saying. I didn't include it in Unseen because I don't think there was actually much of an update, unfortunately. It was just that WWE are trying to figure out the right way forward. I suppose the update is that it's a neck injury. And WWE are trying to figure out the best way forward. So there's not really much of an update in regards to, like, her career is over or anything like that. No one's saying that. We're just trying to figure out, or WWE are trying to figure out the best way forwards. So, yeah, I wish her all the very best, of course. Things are obviously looking a little bit gloomy. I mean, we're not just dealing with an injury that she's going to return from. We're dealing with an injury that she may not return from. And they are really trying to figure out how the best way forwards is going to be. So it doesn't feel like she'll be back anytime soon. And just got to wish her a speedy recovery. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, the whole thing is just a very sad situation and very confusing because, I mean, I'm not aware of there being like a certain spot or a certain move. It's not like you can go back and look at a certain moment and that was the moment. I mean, it could be, but that's not been made kind of public. I've not seen anyone mention a certain spot or anything. I think it's more wear and tear over time. I think it's something she was probably aware of already that just has gotten worse and worse and worse. And it's got to the point where it's like, you need to deal with that. Like, it's now serious. So hopefully they can, find a way of getting that sorted. Piper was featured in the Halloween scare video. Not sure when that was filmed, says Johnny. Yeah, I mean, it was probably filmed a little while ago. The other thing as well is that she can still be used for things like that. I think Chelsea is really eager to kind of keep her involved. She's still under WWE contract as well. So I suppose in a way it's a little bit like Big E, where Big E, has got an injury and he can't compete, but we still keep him around. I think Chelsea is very eager to do that for Piper because Chelsea has spoken about suffering like injuries that have put her out for a long time and the damage it did to her, like mental health. And she wants to make sure that Piper's mental health doesn't, get affected. I think there's a real affection that they've got. I think obviously they've been together a little while now. And I think, Chelsea is a nice person. She wants to make sure that Piper's okay. It really wouldn't shock me if she kind of hit Piper up and was like, come to these things with me, rather than sitting at home not sure what to do. Like, come and do these, just these little media bits or something, you know? So, as I said, it could have been recorded a little while ago. I don't know that it would have been recorded in, you know, May or anything like that, but certainly could have been recorded whilst Piper was around. And equally, I wouldn't have been shocked if Chelsea was just, you know, kind of hitting up Piper and just trying to keep her involved. She actually did quite a big interview, like big statement on it the other day, just talking about, like, you know, we're not going to kick Piper out of the Slagents. We're still going to, you know, very much have her involved some way. But it's hard to know how to keep her involved when you don't quite know what to do with the injury at the moment. So, yeah, the whole thing's really messy. I agree with you lot. Thoughts very much with her. It's like Kevin's injury, said Nita Nitro. It happens, and he didn't think it was that serious, and then only found out actually it was very serious. Yeah, do you know, that's a good example, that is, actually, because you're right. That's another one where you can't necessarily pinpoint a moment. I saw the interview that he did with Cody, and he said that there was a bit of a moment where he was like, oh no, this is serious now. But Nita Nitro's right. It kind of gradually built up over time more than anything else. So it was one of those where, you know, he knew he had a problem, but he kept having matches. And he claims it was a match that was not the Sammy match, and it was not the Cody match earlier this, because you might remember there was 2 matches he has that are really brutal. He has that Cody one at the Rumble, and then he has that brutal unsanctioned match against Sammy at Elimination Chamber, and they're horrific, brutal. But he says it's not those that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. There was another match that kind of took place around that time. And he was like, I just was doing a normal spot, and I just felt it just didn't feel right. I just knew that it had got to the point. So, yeah, I mean, you just don't know, do you, the wear and the tear that is being done to these wrestlers' bodies. So, yeah, good shout that. It is. It does feel very similar to that, where it's just kind of been somewhat over a period of time. Connor, hello, said, Daze, do we think that Randy could be a special guest referee at Saturday night's main event? Well, he could do, yes. I think you sent me that, Connor, on X. I think it's a good shout. It's not something that I ever enjoy personally, because I just think it's a nonsense. It makes no sense to me why you would have a wrestler as a special guest referee. Because normally all it means is that they're going to get involved. They're going to get in the way. It's going to add to the controversy. It sort of feels like if you put a special guest referee in, you're basically saying this is going to have some sort of screwy finish. And even if there isn't a screwy finish, whoever loses is going to blame the guest referee. You know, they're going to blame that person. So it's not ever something that I'm a massive fan of when it comes to like a booking trope. When it comes to like one of those classic, let's book this, you know, as a way of kind of getting to another feud or creating controversy. I mean, I think, wasn't it like Naomi against Jade, and we put Bianca as special guest referee? And it's like, why have you done that? That doesn't make any sense. It's always the people that are the most involved that get put as special guest referee. And it's like, surely that's the worst person. Like, we just did NXT Homecoming, and you've got like Jordan Grace, who worked at TNA and loved TNA, but now she works for WWE. And so we did TNA versus WWE, TNA against NXT. And we made Jordan Grace the special guest referee. And it's like, that felt wrong because she's too involved. I mean, surely when it comes to being a referee, you want someone that's completely uninvolved, you know? That would be a little bit like for the Super Bowl, having a referee that grew up a fan of the one team, loved that team, and but now has kind of moved, and so they kind of support the other team, right? Like, they're too involved. Like, don't make that person the referee. You want to have someone that like doesn't like support any team. That's what you want as the referee. So I always find it a bit confusing when well, it's not confusing. It's just, I do think there's some bits in wrestling that are very outdated. I think the thing is that the world is constantly moving forwards and constantly evolving. And I think since the internet came along, people, you've got the access to the internet, you know, you've got access to like other people's opinions and thoughts that can make you question your own opinions and thoughts. Like there was none of that when I was like before the internet. When I was a kid, you just could chat with your mates and that was it really. And if you wanted to like learn something like that, well then of course there was books and there was like the encyclopedia, which was a whole series of books, and you just kind of found whatever you like, dinosaurs or whatever, and it was all in books. So like I kind of feel like the amount of access people have got to information now has kind of made them a lot smarter, a lot cleverer, and as a result, you know, it kind of, I think some of these things that wrestling can do look a little bit outdated now. So you know, I do look at that kind of guest ref thing where the people are heavily involved, and I'm like, you just wouldn't really do that in another sport. You just wouldn't really do that. And I get that this is maybe to create a bit of drama or whatever, but it's not one that I'm crazy about, to be honest. I think there's definitely other ways I would book it. So he could be special guest referee, but not one that I would be campaigning for. As a Man City fan said, Connor, I think Man United might win tomorrow against Brighton. Well, that would be lovely. Daze, have you seen that Elia is going to continue the Open Challenge, said Logansby. Yes, I have. Goods. I think it really worked for Sammy. So I am down to see Elia kind of continue that. Yeah, goods. Let's go. Daze, have you... Oh, we answered that one. The Sick Horror Kingman says, Daze, how are you doing? Not to be an issue, but how does a man like Elia come back from injury over a year? He's great, but automatically wins a championship. But Melo has to fight The Miz. Well, I think Elia is someone that really excited... I mean, a lot of it is going to be timing, right? So I think that Carmelo is someone that you absolutely can have go to a championship. And I would expect him to go to a championship. I mean, don't forget, he has won the Andre Battle Royal. So they have given him an achievement this year. I know that is not a very big achievement, but it's still an achievement. It's still something that goes on your Wikipedia page, on your resume, that you've actually, you know, won this noteworthy battle royal. So I don't think there's any like resistance or reluctance. I would imagine there was a conversation around who should be the person that beats Sammy, right? Who because they could have had it be Carmelo, but timing is always a factor as well, because he is in a feud with The Miz, and it could very simply be that, well, we just don't want to put the US title in that feud. We don't want to hold it up. We want to keep doing open challenges. So Melo right now, from a creative point of view, has been telling this story with The Miz. And so we're at a point now where they're attacking each other, and clearly we're doing matches. Clearly that's a feud. I would imagine that Carmelo will come out the victor of that feud. And then, you know, if he's got a bit of clean highway, if he's got like nothing ahead of him, then, you know, maybe we can move him over towards a mid-card title. So I don't know that it's right to go, oh, they went with Elia instead of Carmelo. They prefer Elia over Carmelo. I don't think that's accurate, because I think that some of it is to do with timing. And I think, listen, if you look at NXT, you know, Elia and Carmelo both did very well at that level. And I think that Triple H believes in both. I think that both will have success. Whatever success looks like is going to be obviously unknown at this stage. Is it, a really good career in WWE like Sammy, but you just don't win a world title? Is it a good career where you do get a world title like Finn? He only had it 24 hours, but he has achieved that. Is it that you become a multiple-time world champion? I don't know. It's hard to say. Sometimes it depends on injuries. It depends on how over you can get. It depends on, obviously, all those numbers. I mean, we spoke about that the other day. The numbers play a massive part as to, telling WWE kind of what direction is the right direction. I mean, WWE is looking to, really try and build up stars and present, the most popular people it possibly can. Because at the end of the day, it wants to get the best ratings that it possibly can. It wants to make the most money that it possibly can. I'd imagine that there's a huge difference between Ilya and Carmelo. I think that they're both really good talents. I think Ilya has been away for 13 months. They're definitely taking a chance on him. Apparently, Sammy was really open to dropping it to Ilya as well. So I think Sammy also was involved in wanting this. And I think that Sammy is judging Ilya off his work in NXT, those amazing matches with Gunther, which are still some of the best matches that WWE has put out of this kind of generation. In fact, on Cage Match, I believe Ilya Gunther is the highest rated match, I want to say, ever in WWE history. I think it is got the highest score on Cage Match out of any other WWE match. So, I mean, Ilya made a big impression in developmental, in NXT UK. And, when he came up, I think a lot of us thought that Gunther would probably be undefeated for a long time. I think Ilya felt like the person that was going to do that. He was going to be the one that was going to slay that dragon. And that, some people thought he might have found his way into Imperium. I always struggled a little bit with that because I just struggled to see Ilya kind of falling in line and being a henchman for Gunther. I always struggled with that. I couldn't quite visualize that. But whatever. So Ilya is, a great talent, an exceptional in-ring talent, very intense. Whether you can market that and present that, we're going to find out. Bold to bring him back after so long away and put a mid-card belt on him. But I wouldn't look at it as they're disrespecting Melo, because I just think timing-wise, as I said, Melo is in a feud with The Miz. So he's got to go through that, and they just quite simply might not have fancied putting the belt in to that feud. Just might have thought that it doesn't need it. We want to do open challenges. And actually, where we are right now, this feels like a great place to bring Ilya back in. Wrestling Russ, shout out to you. Really appreciate it, buds. Wrestling Russ, very kind, firing in some Wrestling Daze memberships. So really appreciate that, my friend. There we go. I've drunk my coffee. We've got an hour until Smackdown. So, yeah, we've got an hour until Smackdown. As we said, big day tomorrow. I do have half an eye on tomorrow because it is UFC and it is going to be a big, big stream. I'm really looking forward to that show. Main event tomorrow is Tom Aspinall from the UK, from England, from Manchester, defending the heavyweight championship of the world. I mean, there is an argument that if you are the heavyweight champ of UFC, there is an argument that you are the baddest man on the planet. So we're going to see that in the main event. We're going to see Tom Aspinall defend against Cyril Gane. So looking forward to that. That's the main event tomorrow. And then straight afterwards, I mean, literally, I think that stream ends, the next stream starts. We got Halloween Havoc, and that should be a really, really good show as well. Some really fun matches there. Michael, hello. Hope you're doing well. Age Cart said WWE should book AAA stars more on Raw and SmackDown. Well, maybe. I think that there's a big difference in viewership between Raw, SmackDown, and AAA. Again, talking about numbers. This is why TNA are operating at the NXT level, because TNA's viewership is, low. I mean, it's low compared to NXT. It's really low compared to SmackDown and Raw. So that's why you don't see like TNA stars popping up on Raw and SmackDown. You can use like their biggest stars, like say a Joe Hendry at a Rumble. You can put in like the women's champion into the Rumble as a way of saying, oh, we just don't know who's going to show up. I mean, I think there's a good chance Mr. Iguana will be in the Rumble because, again, it's just a good way of having a AAA talent represented. And, it could be Vikingo. It could be Mr. Iguana. I think it'll probably be Mr. Iguana so that they can do a fun Mr. Iguana moment during the Rumble. In fact, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't. But that is because they want to show that in the Rumble, anyone can be. It could be a celebrity. It could be someone from AAA. It could be someone from TNA. It could be someone from NXT. It could be Raw. It could be SmackDown. It could be a legend. They just want to show that it can be anyone, right? But actually, like week in, week out on Raw and SmackDown, I think they're a lot more focused on the stars that they've got on their roster. TV time is obviously very important. And they're battling for ratings, they're battling for views, and I think they're trying to find a way of presenting the roster they have on a weekly basis. So there's definitely room to bring in some AAA stars from time to time, and they've been doing that. I think we've had Mr. Iguana appear on like a SmackDown, and I'm trying to think if anyone else has. I know that we did Octagon at Money in the Bank against Dominic. But yeah, by and large, they obviously kind of keep them a bit at arm's length, more at the NXT level, because I think viewership-wise, AAA kind of fits more at the NXT level. In fact, Wagner Jr. is going to be in action against Ethan Page at Halloween Havoc. So there is AAA talent being represented on a WWE show this weekend. Ajikar said, I noticed that Domino hasn't shown up since the Demonito, since Mr. Iguana faced Finn Balor. I think that's more a AAA thing. I don't think that's something that they're looking to use in WWE. I think that's more a puppet and a character that counters Mr. Iguana. I don't think that's something that's going to be introduced as kind of part of Finn's character going forwards. I think it's more a AAA exclusive little quirk, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, look, they could bring it in and, obviously then they would sell a lot more of those puppets. But I don't think that's a focus at the moment. Sick Hurricaneman said, Daze, if I'm mellow, I'm going to leave as soon as my contract is up. Braun, Roxy, and etc. were called up with him, and they didn't have to pay their dues. I would be gone if I was him. Well, Braun has been in the mid-cards a long time. I mean, don't forget, Braun had a run with the Intercontinental Championship. It's not that he got called up and went straight into the Vision. What I would say as well is that I think that they are more excited about Braun than they are Carmelo. I think that Braun is someone that's, because he's a bit more jacked, because he is the son of a Steiner, because he is very athletic and explosive, I think that there is just a bit more of a buzz around Braun than there is around Carmelo. I don't think that is a problem. I think that it's up to Carmelo to show that they're just wrong and that actually the buzz should be around him instead rather than around, and if you go back to, like, say, Daniel Bryan, there was plenty of other people. Like, if you go back to 2014, the winner of that Rumble is Batista, because Batista comes back and he wins the Rumble. And that's not what the fans wanted. The fans in the arenas were down on that, right? Batista was quite hot at that time because of Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I think they thought, we'll bring back Batista. He was a big name anyway. Now he's doing this big film. Like, yeah, he can be in the main event of WrestleMania. But at that time, the fans wanted Daniel Bryan. And Daniel was not big and jacked like Batista. So if I'm Carmelo, I'm going to look at that and think, well, okay, if you're going to push and promote Bron Breakker, and word today is they are going to look to make him the world champion in the near future, right? Might not be this time. We know that it's Jay against CM Punk, but word on the street is that, yes, they are looking to get him to that world title very soon. If I'm Carmelo, I'm going to look at that and go, that should be me. I should be in that spot. But I think Bron Breakker is, special, to be honest. Roxy, I think, is really interesting, actually, because a lot of people would argue that she has not been pushed. In fact, there are a lot of people that argue that, because I get those comments. People are like, why are they doing? Why is Julia at the mid-card title? Why is Stephanie the world champion? And why is Roxanne just, like, in Judgment Day, like, losing matches? So actually, it's funny that you mention Roxanne as an example of someone that's being used well, when honestly, there's a lot of people that get in touch with me and say she is not. It's funny, isn't it? Because if you benchmark wrestlers against other wrestlers, you can find different answers. The honest answer I'm going to tell you is that I think that they did drop the ball with Carmelo a little bit. I don't think they quite knew how to use him. And I think they had him win the Andre Battle Royal. They didn't have a follow-up plan, and they ended up putting him with The Miz. And, they kind of did the whole Melo don't Miz thing, which didn't really go anywhere. I think they had maybe higher hopes for that, but it didn't really catch fire, didn't really go anywhere. They didn't really do much with it. Thankfully, though, they're not kind of trying to keep going. They've ended it, right? Might have gone on a bit too long, but they've ended it. And I'm thankful for that because, well, we know where we're going now. It's going to be Carmelo against The Miz. It's going to be a feud, and then Carmelo can come out of that, and then hopefully we've got something else lined up. I think for Carmelo to walk away at this point would be ludicrous, honestly, because there are other people that are being given other opportunity. I wouldn't even compare to the women, by the way. The women's division is completely different to the men's. There's not as many women. They've got the same amount of belts, other than 2 sets of tag titles. They've just got 1. But they've got 2 world champions, they've got 2 mid-card champions, and they don't have as big of a roster. And, I think it's a lot harder being a guy trying to get to a championship than it is a girl. So if you compare Carmelo to Stephanie or Julia, then obviously you're going to be frustrated. But I think that's the wrong thing to do, because they're 2 completely different divisions. And if you compare to Roxanne, I don't actually think he compares too badly. Both are getting regular TV time at the moment. Neither have got a championship. And, she kind of inherited the tag title, but then lost it quite quickly. He won the Andre Battle Royal, which is still an achievement. I think they've both got bright futures. I don't know why you would get to the main roster, earn hundreds of thousands of dollars, and decide to walk away just because some other people are being booked better. Imagine if Daniel Bryan did that. Imagine if in 2013, when 2012, Daniel Bryan, one of the best indie talents. Imagine when he looks around and he sees all these people being booked better than he is, and he decides to just throw his toys out the pram and walk away. I mean, listen, some people would do that. Some people have done that. Some people are, not happy with their place on the card and they want to go elsewhere. But to walk away from the number 1 biggest wrestling promotion, that is bold. And to do it when you're getting regular TV time is also very bold. And to do it when you're still relatively new to the roster. I mean, look, If Finn Balor was to walk away, I think we would understand. He's been on the main roster like 10 years. I know he went back down to NXT for a time, but he's basically been around for 10 years. He's been in Judgment Day for God knows how long, 3-4 years. And, you know, he's just been spinning his wheels. You could understand a Finn Balor being frustrated. Because Finn Balor, you know, we can't make an argument of, oh, they're going to get there. I mean, they might get there, but you could understand him going, well, we should have already got there, right? So like a Finn Balor is someone I could understand going, do you know what, I'll go to AEW. I think I've got a better chance of them giving me the top title than I've got of getting it here in WWE. So him walking away, I could understand. But someone like Carmelo Hayes that's been on the main roster, I don't even know, actually, like 12 months, 16 months, something like that. I mean, to me, that's still relatively early if you are hoping to have like a 15-year career on the main roster. You know, the first year and a half, 2 years, I mean... What would that be with John? John made his debut, didn't he? What was it, 2002? So imagine if John Cena quit because he wasn't happy in like 2004. I mean, what about all the stuff that followed? What about like what he did in 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? What about all of that stuff that followed for John? What if John quit when he was going through his prototype stage because he wasn't happy with the gimmick? And so he quit. We never would have got Thugonomics. We never would have got John Cena. What about if Stone Cold had quit during his Ringmaster stage? We never would have got Stone Cold. What if The Rock had quit during his Rocky Maivia stage? We never would have had The Rock. When the fans were chanting, "Die, Rocky, die." What if that had got to him and he'd walked away? I feel like there is a period of adjustment. There is a period where you have to kind of start again. And I think fans kind of forget this. I think the difference between NXT and the main roster is huge. I think it's huge. I think it's bigger than we can imagine. I think in NXT, as we said, you go to the same building, you're performing in front of the same fans, and, you know, you get over as a result. They all love you or hate you if you're a heel, but they certainly know you because you're performing in front of the same fans, right? And when you go to the main roster, you're constantly moving around the globe, let alone America. I mean, they've got like a whole European tour coming up. They've just been to Australia. They've just done shows in Japan. How can you compare competing in Florida week in, week out to competing around the globe to different people every single week? I mean, you have got to get over with the whole fan base. You can't just get over with one little group. You've got to get over with everyone so that when you go to all these different places, you get a reaction. And that takes time. And not only does it take time, but it takes the right presentation. It takes the right commitment from management. It takes a bit of a perfect storm. I always remember a quote from $1 Million Man. It was something like, it can take a lifetime to get over, but when you are over, you're over for life. And that's a $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase quote. It can take a lifetime to get over, but when you are over, you're over for life. So this part where you first come up to the main roster, it's I don't want to say the hardest part, but it feels like it, because you're in a new locker room with new people, new relationships. You obviously are a small fish in a big pond rather than being a big fish in a small pond. You're traveling all over the globe. You're staying in hotels. You're having to get rental cars. You're maybe getting planes and flights. You're maybe not getting as much sleep. You're certainly not in your own beds. You've got different people that you're working with. It's a bigger machine. NXT is, smaller compared to the machine that is WWE. You're doing media commitments and charity work that people don't see. And then you've got to go out there and put on a banging match, which is just, or kill it in a promo segment. And you need to know your character. and you need to connect with the audience, and you got to do all of that. Like, pretty much from the get-go, you've got to be working on that. Otherwise, yeah, you'll get left behind because there's a constant conveyor belt of other people that are coming through. So it's like, it's really hard. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. What I would say is, if you was Carmelo Hayes and you looked at this situation and you said to yourself, I'm going to quit, I think you should quit. I think you should. If that's what goes through your heads, I think you should, because it's a battle, it's a fight, it's grind, it's hard work, it's making something work, it's digging in. That's what it is. And I think if you get to the point where you're like, I'm going to walk away, well, maybe you don't deserve to ever get over. Maybe you don't deserve for it to actually work. Perhaps the next person that's going to, represent a bit of hustle is going to succeed. This is what John Cena taught us. You got to hustle, you got to have loyalty, you got to have respect. And if you can bring those things, maybe you can succeed. Seeb said, I don't think there's many Bron fans. I'm guessing WWE are the only ones that are invested. If fans do get tired of him as being a top champ, main eventing shows, do we think WWE would have dropped the ball with him? Well, I don't think it massively matters because he's a heel. And I don't think it really matters if the heels have got fans. I mean, to be honest, the heels shouldn't really have fans. I think that they can have respect. You can respect those heels. Like Gunther, for example. It doesn't really matter if there's no Gunther fans, because Gunther is someone that, as long as he can deliver, as long as his presentation is good, as long as he can deliver great matches and he can deliver great promos and he can do what they're asking him to do, it's the babyface that's the one that needs to shine. I mean, if there were fans for the heels, then of course you start running the risk of splitting the crowds and people not getting like united behind the babyface. So I think with Bron being a heel, it works. I think it works at the moment. I think Bron, they need to just build up the aura. I do think they fumbled on Monday. I think that in the breakdown video that we did, the point that I was making, I still really stand by, which is you did this amazing moment where you split the vision, and I understand you did it earlier than you was expecting, but you split the vision, and then how do you follow that up? You've got the world wanting to see what is next for Bron Breakker, what is next for Bronson Reed, what is next for the vision. Like, there's been a major coup, right? So they're not happy with the leader. So what are they going to do? How do you follow it up? And I gotta say, the follow-up was, borderline disastrous, because the follow-up was him giving the belt back to Adam Pearce, believing he was going to be in a battle royal, being removed from that battle royal, and then doing nothing about it. And that was the follow-up. That was it. That's how we followed up him turning on Seth, was this amazing master plan that they'd come up with. Now, we found out today the reason why he got removed was because they didn't want him winning. Because they don't think Saturday night's main event is a big enough show to crown him on. They really believe in him as being this big problem for people. And so they want to kind of put the belt on him a bit further down the road at a bigger event. And they think that Saturday night's main event and the amount of views that it's going to get is not going to be the big launch that they want for him. So that's why they delayed. I would say that's fine, but you needed to have found a much better way of him not winning the Battle Royal than what you did. I think that's because it just didn't help him.
Like an interesting perspective on the booking decision.
So that didn't... my phone's answering now. So for me, that didn't help. That didn't, build up his aura. It didn't make him look like a mastermind. I would have much rather he handed the belt back, got told he wasn't in the Battle Royal, and for him to have said something like, that's okay. That wasn't part of my plan anyway. And for him to smile and walk away. It would have been better for him to have shown that actually he's in control and that there is a plan. Doesn't matter that he's not in the Battle Royal. That's not part of the current strategy. That's not part of the plan. Instead, we made him look stupid, where we made him hand a belt over and we removed him from a number one contenders Battle Royal, which we saw backstage he was clearly frustrated about, which was clearly not part of the plan. And you kind of look at those things and you're like, why have you done that to him this week? After he just did this big statement the other week, why have you done these things to him now? Why, when there was like a better way of getting there? There was a much better way that we could have actually, you know, I think there's several different things we could have done. Several different things we could have done. You know, he could have been chucked over the top rope by someone after being distracted. And then, of course, they would have a target on their back now. And so for the next few weeks, we could have had Bron Breakker going after this person that had ruined his plan, right? You could have gone that way. I would have preferred that. I'd have took that. He didn't need to win the Battle Royal if you didn't want him to. But I think there was better ways of getting him out of it. So in regards to him being a heel that's got a lot of affection from the fans, he doesn't need it. Heels don't need that. They just need to be respected. And I think at the moment, people are, I'm going to say a little on the fence. Because I think everyone knows that he is someone the company really believes in. And I think the people are looking now to see what are we going to do with him now. Okay, so what's the next step? What's the plan? People are kind of watching the story unfolds. And I think if you used to ask people, are you excited by Bron being a world champion? The answer you'll get is no. But equally, I don't think people have abandoned it completely because WWE have identified him as someone they believe in. And so fans are like, okay, let's see why. What is it that we're not seeing? What is it that you have seen that we have not seen? You know, he's got a decent look, a marketable look. His matches are okay. I don't think his matches are that special. His matches are a bit of a concern, but his promos, I would say, are a bigger concern. His promos are just very flat, and they're very short, and they're very blah, blah, blah. Like, there's not really any interesting lines in the promos. His match quality is like 3.5. His promo is probably like a 3, if that. It might even be in the 2s out of 5. I don't think that he is like the barking is kind of getting over though. We are seeing the fans like doing the barking thing, so the barking is getting over. But yeah, I agree. I think that there's a lot of people that aren't excited about him being champ, but I don't know that we're seeing major pushback on him being champ at the moment, because I think people are still like, what's he going to look like when he gets there? How are they going to fix the bits that are wrong? So I'm very interested to watch that play. Michael said, as a Seth fan, my vision now is to let them put the belt on Bron. And when Seth returns, let Seth be the one that, as a babyface, can dethrone him and take the championship. That's interesting, Michael. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Bron Breakker turn on Seth has actually been one of the most exciting things we've done recently. I mean, it was certainly a shock and it was certainly unexpected. This is why I was so disappointed on Monday with the follow-up, because it felt like we had just been forced to do something pretty exciting. And so I was really interested to see, right, how do we follow this up? How are we going to follow up what we've just done? And I thought the follow-up was very underwhelming. So for me, I was kind of a bit disappointed with that. It's not a major problem. Like, you know, I can move past it. It's fine. But it's like, okay, I feel like you've missed an opportunity there. I feel like you had a chance to build up his aura. You had a chance to really have him say something, for him to cut a killer promo, you know? He could have come out and delivered a promo that we would have been like, damn, that's why they're getting behind. And we didn't get that killer promo, and we didn't get like a great storyline development. So instead we just made him look a bit like toothless, honestly. So I think I'm waiting to see Right, what have you got? What's the plan? Yeah. And honestly, if there is no plan, well then it sucks, doesn't it? I mean, if there is no plan at the moment, if we are just going to keep taking L's and missing opportunities, then all I'll say is welcome to 2025. That's what I'll say. I'll say welcome to 2025. Welcome to WWE, who have consistently this year dropped the ball. Consistently this year failed with opportunities. Took a lot of took a few different shots. Probably didn't take enough shots. If this was a 3-throw competition, right, where you've got a timer and you've got to try and get as many 3 throws as possible, right? You probably didn't shoot enough times, and of the shots that you actually took, more than half of them hit the rim and bounced out. Some of them didn't even make it to the hoop, right? I would say that's WWE in 2025. Not a complete disaster, right? I would say a very underwhelming run overall. You definitely did get some nets, though. You definitely did score some points. I mean, people did enjoy Braun turning on Seth. People did enjoy AJ Lee coming back. People did enjoy when you turned John Cena back face and he started to have more compelling matches. People did enjoy the John Cena heel turn because we were excited about where that might be leading. So people did enjoy the way you booked the SmackDown tag division in the first part of the year. It's maybe gone a bit mid since the Wyatts became champs, but when we were doing those TLC matches and everything, people did enjoy that. People did enjoy the whole Rhea EO situation that delivered some banging matches. We can't say this year has been a complete disaster, but I do think that there's a lot of stuff that they have got wrong this year, most notably Cena's heel run, most notably the booking of the Vision until the turn on Seth. Those were the 2 major stories, and both of them, I think, got botched. So, yeah, I mean, if this is going to be another example of us hitting the rim and the ball bouncing out, I'll say welcome to 2025. Welcome to a creative team that just don't seem to be able to consistently land these shots, you know? And it is them that I blame. That is where my blame goes. I think that when you can sit here and say, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't have done that, and then it plays out, and in reflection you go, we shouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I said it before. I look back on it. We shouldn't have done it. You know, I sit here and I'm like, who else is there to blame? It's creative. It's creative because I can sit here and say, that's not the way forward. That's not what I would do. And here's why. Bam, 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 bam. And then they do it and it doesn't work. And you go, well, there was a surprise, you know? So it has been at times a bit frustrating this year. But this is why I'm hoping that the Braun thing is going to work okay. I actually want this to work. I think we do need a monster heel, more monster heels. I think Braun is someone they've identified. I don't think he's a bad pick. You know, is young, is athletic, is explosive. He's got he's got a good physique. He's not Brock, he's not Batista, but, you know, they are very special talents. They are talents that only come along like once in a generation. Like, that's not the kind of person that you're going to get on a regular basis. So there is going to sometimes be a degree of let's, you know, do the best we can with what we've got. And you know, I'm looking at Jacob. I think Jacob has got some aura. I think he could get somewhere. Braun, you know, they've got him with Heyman. They're doing what they can. He's going to become a world champion. And when he's had that belt and he's had some successful defenses, and maybe if he's cut some great promos and he's had some decent matches, we should feel a bit better about it. But it's just waiting for some of those things to happen, isn't it? So I want it to work. I hope it works. I hope it's a big success. But, oh yeah, absolutely, it could be another missed opportunity. Benny said, after the news, do we think WWE bring back Andrade? It's a strange situation with him appearing in AEW and then back to WWE. How does AEW explain that? Well, I can't speak about AEW because I don't follow AEW, so I can't really speak on what they're doing, how they're presenting him and the problems that they've got. The only thing I know is that WWE let him go because there was issues. Apparently there was wellness policy violations and things along those lines. So as a result, it is unlikely that they now bring him back. I don't really understand why WWE would bring him back. I think Andrade would come back, but I don't understand why WWE would bring him back when they are the ones that just decided to let him go and let him go because of violations in their policy and, there being like issues backstage. It got to the point where they were like, we don't need this. And so we let him go. So it doesn't really make any sense to me why we would now bring him back. I don't know if there is a rumor doing the rounds. If there is, I have not seen it. So, but as I said, I'm probably about 2-3 hours out. So if something has dropped in the past few hours, then I won't have seen it. But I didn't see anything earlier today about like Andrade coming back. And honestly, it wouldn't make any sense to me because WWE are the ones that decided to part ways with him. I mean, if it was the case that he had decided to leave and then he had thought about it and he was like, no, I'm being an idiot. I'll see if they'll take me back. That might be a different conversation. But they're the ones that fired him. They're the ones that let him go. They would have to change their minds. And I don't see that happening, to be honest. Love you, Rascal said Daze. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, buds. Shout out to my brother Vinny and Maya and our beautiful mother getting ready for Smackdown. Oh, lovely. I hope you have a good time. And shout out to you. Love you, Rascal. Shout out to you, my friends. Yeah, I hope you have a great time. Hoping for a good show. I think the preview looks okay. I think that obviously Cody and Drew is a very interesting story. I do think I'm going to be looking for any signs that Cody is turning. I don't know that that's the direction I would go. It's not a direction that I think is bad if they do go there. I think you could go there. So I certainly don't think it would be a disaster. I think actually there's a lot of people online that would be up for it, down for it. So that one I think you could do. I just don't know if they are going to do it because Triple H has been quite clear about the fact that he really likes Cody as a babyface, and he really believes that Cody is kind of that Cena replacement in the sense of this is a guy that sticks around. He couldn't sign any more autographs if he tried. He does all the kind of media and all the charity events and loves doing it, and he was built to do it. And this is a guy that can put on great matches. Promos are okay. I think his promos could be a little bit more engaging, but they're okay. They're a bit repetitive. I think, though, when you've got so much TV time, it's hard to not be repetitive when you are used on such a regular basis. But his matches, I mean, honestly, him against Cena, him against Kevin are two of the best matches of 2025. And then if you look back last year, they followed up not only, I think, what most people would say was the best match, which would be Cody Roman, but they followed it up with Cody AJ. And Cody AJ is probably the best in-ring match that we had in 2024. So you can point a good amount of Cody matches that consistently are at that upper echelon. So match quality-wise, Cody does not concern me. I think he's very good. Presentation is great. American Nightmare, the entrance music, the woe, the jackets, the tattoo logo, the logo. Great, fine. Yeah, I mean, he's basically Captain America. I mean, he's playing Guile in Street Fighter as well. So the presentation of him is not bland. You know, he doesn't just come walking out and it's all like, God, they need to give this guy a gimmick. Like, he's got plenty going for him. Presentation-wise, tick. Match, tick. I'd say it's the promo that's just a bit, I wish he was a bit more engaging. But I don't know if, like, you know, the heel turn is necessarily needed. Some would do it, some wouldn't. And but I'm interested to see if we're going to do it tonight and if we're going to pull the trigger and kind of, yeah, what that's going to look like. I'm very interested to see where we end up with that. So looking forward to just little bits like that really tonight. Just those kind of little things. It's not like we've got a world title match, you know. Who's going to win? It's nothing on that scale, but it is like, what's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with the Wyatts? You know, are the Wyatts going to show up and go after the MFTs? You know, it's just all these little bits that we're kind of keeping an eye on. Aaron, hello, said WWE put a 1-year non-compete on Andrade without pay. WWE are trying to use that as leverage to bring him back. That's a report from PW Insider. They're trying to use it as leverage to bring him back. I'll have to have a look at this. That is news to me. I don't know why they would look to bring him back when they're the ones that let him go. Why would they look to bring him back? I'll have to dig into it. I'll have to dig into it and have a look. But honestly, doesn't make any sense to me why you would let someone go and then look to try and bring them back. Daze, don't forget our clocks go back an hour this weekend. So earlier shows next week, says James. Thank you. But I like the darker characters, says William. Robbie said, let's replace a 40-year-old Cena with a 40-year-old corporate Cody. Yeah, but I think Cody, as we said, ticks boxes. Plus also, he's of the age where, he's 40, that's fine. I mean, Cena's 40, 48, is he? How old Cena? Cena is 48. So Cena is 40. There's 8 years difference between those two. I mean, 40 in this day and age is not a problem. I mean, we're a long way removed from 40 being like, you know, Bob Backlund coming back as an old man, you know. I think that Cody's probably got a good 5 years at the top, and he's already had a year. I think that that's fine. I don't have an issue with it. I think Cody is definitely someone that is obviously not going to do like 10 years at the top, or at least I wouldn't expect that. But if Cody was, if he wanted to, still around in 8 years' time, you know, working a bit of a reduced schedule by that point and being like, you know, like a Randy Orton. Because, I mean, Randy is like, what? Randy Orton. Randy's actually a bit younger than I thought. Randy is 45. So yeah, I reckon that Cody's got 5 years, and then I think that he could work a reduced schedule from there. So I wouldn't have age as the barrier personally. I think Cody finishing his story was the right thing to do, and I think that we're looking to build up some new stars. I certainly don't think Cody's going to be on top for the same amount of time as John, but I think where we are now and the landscape we are now, I think he's perfectly fine to have in that position. I am glad I found this community, said Love Your Rascal. It's weird. Why do I feel like we're BFFs? Shout out to Cassidy and Sophia. Pumped up for Smackdown. Very good. Very good. Well, I mean, we just have like honest chats about wrestling, and I think as a result, it's like just being down a bar, being down a pub, having a pint, having some like snacks, and that's the kind of conversation that we tend to have. I mean, I suppose because like I don't know, I suppose because we're not really like doing anything other than just talking wrestling, We're just chatting about like what's happening in the world of wrestling, where it's going, where it could be going, kind of concerns, what people like to see. Yeah, it's just simple stuff really, but sometimes it's the simple stuff that works the best. I would hate the Righteous to be on TNA. They are methodical in their matches. It wouldn't fit with TNA's higher octave or octane. Niall, hello. Shout out to you. I don't want to see Jay be champ yet, said Mr. Airstrike. Denetria says, R-Truth is just taking up some space on the roster. I like him, but what is he doing? Well, WWE, I think, looked at saving money and that space by letting him go. I think this is where it's an interesting one, actually, because then you start getting into loyalty, If you look at a roster and you see spaces and you see money being spent that could be spent elsewhere, like, because obviously there's a budget, right? A wage budget. So there's a budget and there are spaces. If you look at R-Truth as taking money that could be spent elsewhere and taking a space that could be given to someone else, I could understand that. I don't think R-Truth brings loads. I think he's someone that pops up from time to time with comedy. He's not someone that's going to wrestle many matches. He's obviously a good person to kind of have around for being in a tag team. Or like they needed a segment with Brock, so Brock came back, and obviously Brock's very controversial right now. So Brock was in the ring, and we were like, how's this going to go? And before he even got a chance, I think, I don't know if he said anything, and then bang, they brought out R-Truth. And R-Truth is loved. So R-Truth got in there, and it was more like the crowd were listening to what R-Truth was going to say, rather than like, how do we feel about Brock? They didn't really give the crowd a chance to ask themselves, are we going to, what are we going to chant? Could you imagine if Brock had been out there and if it would only take one person to, start a Janelle Grant chant? Imagine how awkward that could have been if someone in the crowd had started a Janelle Grant chant and the crowd started joining him, right? And Brock standing in the ring. I think WWE are aware that is a threat, there is potential for something like that, and so they immediately bring out R-Truth that the crowd love. That, immediately just takes their head out of that space. You go out of that headspace, you go into a different headspace, and it's like, oh, I love R-Truth. What's he going to do here? This should be good. This should be fun. And immediately you've changed the narrative. You've changed the thought process, which is why they did it. So you can look at it as he takes up a space, and that he takes up some money, and he isn't going to, be someone that's going to be out there week in, week out having matches. You might not even see him week in, week out backstage doing stuff. But where is loyalty a factor? Because you've got someone that's done everything that's ever been asked of him, just like Natalya. They've done everything that's ever been asked. They are company people through and through, loyal to a fault. They, you need anything doing, they'll do it. Like, they are good hands to have around. You need a tag partner for someone, they'll do it. You need a backstage segment, or you need some new talent to kind of be put with, like Natalya. Natalya's working with Maxine, isn't she? Natalya is so far away from the women's championship. She's just working with people like Maxine and trying to, help get them kind of settled on the main roster, help them find their feet, help them get some momentum. In fact, a lot of people give Natalya the credit for kind of the recent successes that Maxine has enjoyed. You know, and there has been very positive feedback for Maxine's recent performances with Becky. But a lot of that is down to the work she's been doing with Natalya in the dungeon, you know. So, you know, Natalia's kind of doing stuff like that. I think R-Truth is similar, is a good, friendly person to have around. He can help people that have just come up from NXT. He's going to be a friendly face that's, you know, hopefully going to help people find their feet and acclimatise. He's comedy relief as well when needed. He could be a tag partner on, like, you know, on a show or on a house show. I mean, he just had a little run, didn't he, with The Miz? We just reformed the Awesome Truth. And so they just had a little bit of a run. But you could absolutely do something with him and, you know, I don't know, Trick, when Trick comes up. Like, if Trick comes up and we just need to get him on TV, we could have a fun little thing with Trick and R-Truth, where Trick, you know, doesn't need R-Truth, but R-Truth wants to help or something, right? So Trick's just constantly, like, frustrated with R-Truth, and, you know, that'll get Trick TV time. It'll give him something to get his teeth into. R-Truth can kind of fit that mold. So he definitely can deliver something, whether it's enough for the money that he gets paid, whether it's enough for the fact he's taken up a spot. I don't know. People will debate that. But at what point does loyalty matter? You know, at what point should it be that we do look after the people that, that, you know, have served us so well? And WWE got to the point where they were done with R-Truth. I mean, WWE themselves asked themselves that question, and they came up with the answer, I think now's the time. And so, obviously, we parted ways with R-Truth. And then, of course, there was this massive backlash from the fans, from the roster. They wanted him to stay. Outpouring of love. Loud response. Really loud. And he come back. So, WWE are the ones that... I think want to... we're thinking along those lines of parting ways with him. But, yeah, I personally don't mind. I think you can find a way of using him. I think that there is something to loyalty. I don't know that it's right that you just, like, you know, bin people off. Okay. Where are we time-wise? 11 minutes. Zoom Station said Tozawa had mad respect until WWE turned him into a clown. Trick won't get TV time on the main roster. Triple H is racist, remember? Well, fingers crossed he does. He's a great talent. So definitely keeping our fingers crossed. Okay. Daze, could we see the Usos backstage today at SmackDown? And what's going on in Jimmy's head from the Battle Royal? Not expecting the Usos. I'm trying to think why we would get the Usos. Are they involved in anything on SmackDown? I mean, Jay is involved with Punk. Jimmy is involved with, like, the Jay LA Knight situation. Don't expect the Usos today. No. And obviously there's no words as to what's happening with Jimmy and Jay. I mean, that's all part of the story. They've got obviously lots of options as to where they can go. Lots of different directions they can head in. But, yeah, we don't know which one they're going to take. Okay. Daze, I'm new here, said Simon. Hello, Simon. Hope you're well, buds. Loving the community. It's a good place to hang. Looking forward to SmackDown. Well, Simon, welcome, my friends. Yeah, I mean, just pop in your thoughts. What I would say is I don't get a chance to get to everything. And these are just, like, you know, my opinions or things that I've read. Like, no, I don't think that's happening because of this or whatever it might be, right? So, I mean, my word's not gospel, as you all know. But we're just chucking thoughts around. It's just getting people to maybe think about some things in a different way. They might do that and not agree still, and that's absolutely fine. I think that it'd be pretty boring if we did all agree on the exact same things. So I think that is interesting, obviously, that people have different thoughts, different opinions. I think what's really good about the opinion in the community is that hopefully there's a lot of respect for other people's thoughts. And it is just like factual conversations. You know, I mean, we don't sit here and go, oh, you're an idiot. Are you're stupid. Why would you think that or anything like that? Because, well, to be honest, people could be right. There's many times people have said stuff in the chat that I've not considered before that has made me think differently. And things that have then also proven to be accurate and have been the directions that we've gone. So I think, you know, I'd like to think there's healthy conversation in the chat. Obviously, when I'm talking, I don't always see what's being said. But yeah, I'm encouraged by the amount of times I read the chat and people say they enjoy the community and they enjoy, like, you know, hanging out here. That says to me that the chat must be a pretty good place to be. So good. I'm pleased. I'm happy. I hope that that continues, and welcome. Feel free to share your thoughts and on the show, or frustrations or anything like that. And if I see it, we'll have a chat about it. If I don't, then hopefully someone else picks it up, and you could have some good conversations. We have a lot of people that join us on a regular basis that are very knowledgeable about wrestling and obviously very opinionated. I think every wrestling fan is very opinionated. So ideally trying to make this a place where people can share their opinions. And I am never going to tell you that people are going to agree with your thoughts. And I'm certainly not going to say that I'm going to agree. But what I will say is that if I do read a comment, then, I will give, obviously, the best answer I can. And I'll try and give examples. And it will be from a factual kind of no, I don't see that because blah, 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 It wouldn't be like, oh, you're an idiot, blah, 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 or anything like that. Because I love the conversation, honestly. As I said, this is like being down there. I should have a pub as a background, really. I should have a pub. I don't need Roman. I can lose Roman. I didn't even know Roman was peaking. But, it should be a bit of a pub background. That's the kind of vibe I think we have. But welcome anyway. Vikings Wolf said, I just got here. Are we doing a UFC live stream tomorrow? We are, yes. It's already set up. It's early tomorrow. So, tonight is going to be a little bit of a mad dash on, to be honest. I don't know quite how I'm going to get everything done tonight because I really need to make sure that I'm getting off so that I can get some sort of sleep. I think the show starts 3 p.m. UK time, which is kind of like bang in the middle of the night for me, honestly. 3 p.m. Normally I go to bed about 12, get up about 7. So 3 p.m. is like about as bad as it gets. So, not really looking forward to that. But it's on it. I'm looking forward to the show, but I'm not looking forward to the start time. So 3 p.m. is the time it starts. That is going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Or 3 p.m. UK time. So, it's an early one tomorrow. But the stream is already set up. Camden, thank you, my friends. Really appreciate the support. Really appreciate the support. That goes towards the chair fund. I'm still saving and looking to get a new chair. So I'd just like people to know if they've sent in very kind donations that it will go back into the channel. I'm not looking to book a holiday to the Seychelles or anything. It will go towards the chair fund. So Camden said, Daze, do you think Jay's storyline of being the Tribal Chief 2.0 needs a title to precede the story? Or could they precede the story without a title? Maybe tell a storyline to have Jimmy fall in line beside Jay. That's a great question. I think that you could book it either way. I would like to think that if I was in creative and they said, right, we want you to book Jay as the new Tribal Chief, we're not going to give him a belt, but we're going to have him believe that he is the next in line, have him believe that You know, if he is going to get where he wants to get to, he's got to take it, and he's got to be more ruthless, right? I mean, I would say there's a lot that you could get your teeth into there where you don't need a title. The title would be the crowning achievement. I suppose in a way the title would show that his change in mindset, the title would show that that was the right thing to do and that everything he had done had been successful. But you could spend a long time doing stuff, building to that. So, you know, if he doesn't win against CM Punk and the defeat like makes him snap and he like attacks CM Punk after, walks out, people are like booing him, then you could start him being, I got to change my way of thinking, man. You could have Jimmy trying to change his mind and he could be like, no, I know what I need to do. I know the way forward. And then he can start attacking people backstage. Jimmy then has got a choice of, do you stand with Jay? Do you stand against Jay? Are you going to fall in line? Jay can make it very clear, if you're with me, you're acknowledging me. And, you know, I mean, imagine Jimmy's reaction to hearing that. And I feel like there's a lot of mileage, a lot of feuds and stories you could tell as you are kind of showing that Jay is starting to get into this headspace where for him it is a case of, I'm the tribal chief now. I mean, Roman said that to him, you know, this is your show, you got to take it, you know. And so it's kind of in line with what he's already been told. It's just he hasn't quite executed that yet. He's still got like the brakes are still on for Jay. I mean, for example, he came down to help Jimmy. You know, Jimmy was in trouble and he came down to help Jimmy. He did that because obviously that's his brother and family and all of that. But I mean, by doing that, the story is that he kind of hurt himself and hurt his chances later in the show. I think they are putting some pieces in place whereby he could be more ruthless, and it could be a case that he could kind of get to that level of being a heel that is going to do what is best for him, because ultimately that is what is also best for the family, because it brings the power back to the family and he becomes the heir apparent, you know. And I think you could do a lot of that work, as I said, without the belt. I don't think he has to have the belt whilst he's building his bloodline and building and showing this new mentality. That is definitely a story that can play out away from the title. But ultimately, in order for that all to be shown as being a success, for all the work that he would have done, like, he needs the result, and the result would be the belt. So he would need the belt eventually. But if you turned him heel now, he snaps on CM Punk, gets Jimmy to fall in line, brings, I don't know, someone else in, right? To be part of his bloodline, maybe a heel Sammy, right? I don't know. But, you know, you've got this heel group with Jay as the leader. He's calling the plays, calling the shots. The other two are doing his work for him. We get there around February time. You know, he could set his sights back on that World Heavyweight Championship for WrestleMania. And he would need to win the belt in order to show that all the work that he's been doing has been the right direction. Or maybe not the right direction, but certainly, you know, has been effective, has been successful. So, yeah, I like that, Bud, because I think you're right. I don't think he needs the belt straight away. I think there are things you can do with him where he can show that, you know, he can go off and do some work that's going to be fruitful. Right, we are just beginning. Niall Hurren, fangirl, shout out to you, my friends. Really appreciate the support. Said Daze, I'm also new to the channel. Wow, so many new people around. This is awesome. Welcome, welcome. Who do we think wins tomorrow? I was referred to by a good friend who told me to come and check out the channel. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate your friend for recommending this place, and hopefully you're having fun, sharing thoughts and chatting away in the chat. Who do I think wins tomorrow? In which match? Which match, buds? Tomorrow we've got quite a few things that are going on. Obviously, there's UFC. I don't know that you're referring to UFC, but we've got Halloween Havoc. There's several matches happening at Halloween Havoc, so you might have to just clarify for me which match. Okay, we just got a video package right now. We're just seeing what happened last week with Jacob and his teeth. Thank you. I do feel loved and welcome. Goods. But what match was you referring to, buds? Joe said if you do have a pub, then William and myself are going to be your bouncers. Wow, what a couple of sexy bouncers that'll be, eh? I mean, I can't imagine William keeping too many people out. Daze, Casey, Trini, Suzanne, Sonny, William, James just got from a meeting. Tiffy in Misa. I've sent some pictures for Unseen. Okay. What? I'll have to catch up on those. Daze, who do we think answers the open challenge? Well, I mean, the names that I was looking at was like Johnny Gargano, Axiom, Nathan Frazier, Tommaso Ciampa. Those are the kind of names I was looking at. But I mean, as I said earlier, you can... Have I used every page? I'm sat here flicking through pages trying to find a blank one. I ain't got one. Bloody hell. Yeah, you could go back around, couldn't you, and have some of those people that face Sammy, but that would be a bit of a shame, because I feel like they've just had a chance. So I know it's a new champ now, but it'd be a bit soon to do that, so... Yeah, I mean, match-wise, like, the matches that would excite me, the talent that I think is really good for, like, an open challenge... would be like an Axiom and Nathan, people like that. I mean, you've got, as we said, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley. I know these are all tag team people, but open challenges, I think it's fine for, you know, them to answer an open challenge like that. Oh, hello, we do have a noose. We got Big Jim. Yeah, what are you here for? Oh, right. So he's here to speak to... Is everything okay with you and your brother? He's going to do what's right for him. You've got to do what's right for you. Okay. Well, I was not expecting Jimmy on the show, but apparently he's here to get a bit of an update in regards to Jacob. Obviously, Jacob got taken out last week. Jacob is expected to be out for the rest of the year. Originally, it was meant to be that he was going to be back like well into 2026, but that seems to have changed now. And it looks like he's a doubt for Survivor Series. That's the latest. Oh, weird entrance. Very weird setup for the entrance. Very small entranceway. Have we got like a lot of people in attendance tonight? Let's have a look at WrestleTix. Okay, Cody coming out. Okay, so Smackdown. Weird. That's weird. So it says the current setup is just over 5,000. It's completely sold out. Is this just like a really weird small venue? There's only 5,200 seats on this map. They've sold over 5,000. So the reason why they've got such a small entranceway is because they wanted to sell every seat they possibly could. This is just like a really small venue. Why have they booked such a small venue? The year average is nearly 11,000. It's not that they're going through. I know that things have not been brilliant at times, but it's not like it's not like business has completely collapsed. But according to WrestleTix, for the SmackDown 24th, current setup 5,000 tickets sold. There's only 5,200 seats on the map. The show average this year is nearly 11,000. Cheapest ticket was $42. None of this makes sense to me. Like, why are we running such a small venue? Perhaps they don't have a bigger one. Arizona, is this the best arena they've got? What do you want to talk about? So Cody's in the ring. Boos for Drew. Cody was about to talk about Drew, but boos rained down. Big Minx said, I quoted you on a tweet about Andrade. It is weird, said Big Minx. Well, thank you, but we'll catch up on those. I took this title and I smacked it over the head of Drew McIntyre. Jimmy J said, hope all are doing well tonight, and you, buds. Do I need to apologise for that? Debatable. Okay, here's Drew. Drew says stop. Drew's going to come out. Cody asked the fans if he needed to apologise for using the belt. Oh, okay, he's coming through the crowds. Drew's coming through the crowds. Such a weird setup. This is such a weird setup. You're going to cheer Cody and you're going to boo me. So you're going to cheer Cody and you're going to boo Drew McIntyre. I think they're brainwashed by corporate Cody's propaganda. So Drew's saying, like, you keep screwing me over and this crowd are still cheering you. I do think him using the belt was interesting. He seems to blame Drew for the Jacob attack, but a lot of us have got doubts. So Drew out there. He says he's going to finish his story next week. Saturday night's main event next week. Okay, Jacob. I hate all of that family, Cody. So Drew is saying it wasn't me that took out Jacob. I believe that. Cody said, I'll fight you right here. I'll fight you right now. You're clearly looking for a fight. Cody taking his jacket off. Drew. All right, is that Jim? Big Jim going after Drew. Well, this is interesting. This is interesting. Looks like Big Jim is blaming Drew for what happened to Jacob as well. Let them fight is the chant. Now we've got Big Jim trying to go against the ropes. Suicide dive. Drew goes back against the commentary table. Big Jim trying to get at Drew. Interesting that Big Jim is here and that Jay isn't, because Big Jim's here because he's upset at what happened to Jacob. You would think that Jay would be upset as well, but there's no sign of Jay. Is Jay selfishly dialed in to his opportunity instead? Bum, 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 bum. Okay, Solo's coming down. The MFTs follow him. I'd imagine this will lead to our first match. They've still got the face paint on the go. All right, straight into the match. The bell has sounded. We've still got Cody at ringside. So this is going to be MFTs against Shinsuke and Rey Fenix. It's a good look for these guys. I really like how they look with the face paint. I like how it just flowed from the one segment to the next segment as well. That was okay. There was a few bits in there. That wasn't like a waste of an open. That was okay. Right, Camden, appreciate it, my friends. Putting in some gifted memberships. Appreciate it, buds. Why does Jeff Cobb look like a damn Funko Pop? Dunno, but they could absolutely make a Funko Pop. I'd imagine Mattel are looking at the MFTs right now, very excited. I'd imagine they're looking at the MFTs like, oh, baby. Multi-pack on the way. If you had to guess, who do we think main events Mania Night 1 and Night 2? Well, you're going to be looking at the big names, aren't you? I mean, I'd imagine that you're going to have Roman in that conversation, Cody in that conversation, Punk in that conversation. I don't know if Seth's going to make it back. Braun could be in that conversation. Sammy is the outside shout, isn't he? Sammy's the outside shout. I mean, I think Sammy has got a chance of winning the Rumble, and if you win the Rumble, you get to go to WrestleMania, compete for the title. So, you know, Sammy could easily find himself competing for the World Heavyweight Championship. I do wonder about the women as well, because, I mean, really, Io has had a fantastic year this year. Rhea's been doing really well. We never really talk about the women main event in WrestleMania. They've done it a couple of times. I don't know. I mean, if you was to get the right builds and you was to have, like, say, Io in that match, maybe Io versus Rhea could absolutely be that match. I don't know that we're going to run that again, though. We've done that a few times this year. And I don't think Io Liv would be as big, but Liv's got a lot of supporters now. A lot of people really want to see Liv win that Women's Rumble when she comes back. Again, the right story, the right creative. A lot of it would come down to the builds. But I think it's fair that, like, the women are in that conversation. I would love to think that we could do like Asuka EO. I'd love to think that they would give Asuka that opportunity to main event, but I don't see it. That's just a pipe dream, innit? I think, you know, they're going to want to get their big stars up there. And so it's always going to look and be a Punk, a Roman, a Cody. You know, it's always maybe a Gunther, probably a Braun. It's always going to be something along those lines. And obviously, if The Rock is able to, The Rock could compete as well. But I don't know. I don't have a great deal of confidence that The Rock's going to be available. But he could be. He could be. Has anyone in here checked out the Real American Freestyle? I haven't, but I think the concept is quite interesting. I'm not down on that. I'm not down on that as an idea. I think it's a good idea, actually. I think that with MMA, you've got a lot of different martial arts. You got a lot of different skills like jiu-jitsu, combat sambo. You've got obviously wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, taekwondo, Muay Thai. There's lots of different skills that kind of come together in MMA to make a mixed martial artist. And you know, freestyle wrestling is a good foundation. There's a lot of wrestlers in the UFC. But the question would be, before UFC, if you go down a level, before UFC, where is that major promotion that people can just really watch the best wrestlers? Not professional wrestlers, but real wrestling. Where is that promotion? I don't know. Perhaps you lot would know in America. I'm not aware of one. And Real American Freestyle Wrestling, I think, probably looks to fill that void. Here we go. Another brawl. They're brawling in the back. So we've got Jimmy and we've got Drew. They are in the backstage area. Drew is being restrained. We go back to the ringside area. We've got the MFTs in the ring. So they're waiting for Shinsuke and Rey Fenix. So, yeah, little backstage brawl between Jimmy and Drew momentarily. Looks like Drew has got a Jimmy problem now. It's not the most craziest face paint I've ever seen, but I think it definitely adds something. Okay, here's Rey Fenix. Drew is innocent, said Robbie. Adam said, Daze, that security guard was the guy that helped Psycho Stu when Rampage Sun attacked that guy. Oh, well, that's good. It's good that they do use local talent, so if they've gone and used someone locally, then yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Rob said, if I was like JC and had a head like a cinder block, I don't think I would paint it white. It would make it even more obvious. The paint looks like a horror film, said Jordan. Wrestle with Andy said JC Mateo looks like the Smash Hasbro. James said, why is Jimmy still being a whiny about Jay eliminating him? It was Jimmy who told Jay he would go through everyone, including Jay. It's a good point, actually. I suppose it's because he saved Jay a couple of times, and he kind of just naturally thought that there would be, you know, a bit of help coming back and, you know, get it down to the two of them and make it one-on-one. But yeah, I mean, it's true. Before the match, he did say, you know, it's every man for themselves. It's a bit like being upset that your tag partner eliminated you from the Rumble, and we've seen that before, but... Okay, Shinsuke making his way down. Why are we teaming Phoenix with everyone but Penta? It has to be Penta, says Adam. AJ and Dragon Lee are now, we have Shinsuke and Phoenix. They must have listened to us, but the tag team sucks, says Tony. If WWE moved the Wyatts to TNA to boost their ratings and give them full creative control, would you start streaming TNA weekly? I don't know. I don't see that happening. Shot coming in to the midsection, and we are underway. Double axe handle there to Shinsuke. Tony said Shinsuke was pretty much face when he came back after doing that super show and AJ's speech. It's good to have him as a face. JJ Con said, does England get all things WWE on Netflix? Or is it like in the States? No, we get everything on Netflix. The only thing we don't get is Evolve, which is their Wednesday show, which is the level below NXT. That's on Tubi. For us, it is it's on YouTube. It's the next day it's Thursday on YouTube. So we can't watch that live. But I mean, not that many people watch Evolve anyway. But Raw, SmackDown, NXT, premium live events, they're all on Netflix. Saturday night's main event is on YouTube. Because obviously that is a different network, isn't it, in America? That's like, what's that, NBC Peacock type thing. So that's not on Netflix. That lives on YouTube. And the AAA shows live on YouTube as well. So there's a couple of bits on YouTube, which is not a problem. It's still free to watch. And Raw, SmackDown, Premium Live Events, NXT, that all lives on Netflix. The back catalogue's on Netflix as well, but it's not very good. It's not very complete. It's very limited. It's like a watered down version. It's lovely work there by Ray Phoenix. Really impressive. Drop kick there by Ray Phoenix as well. He's in there with JC. Double axe handle by Ray Phoenix. Very good work there by Ray Phoenix, using the ropes. Crowd are very engaged. Do you know there's only 5,000, but it sounds like a lot more. It sounds like a lot more. You can sort of tell that it's a small crowd because there's not really like a second level. The lower level is not that big, doesn't really go back that far, and the upper level is pretty much non-existent. Okay, we got Shinsuke in there doing the come on, and Ray Phoenix joins in as well. And I think that's going to take us to commercial break. Aki said, I've missed Tama Tonga. I was sort of wondering how he was going to be presented again. They didn't really expand on Jacob and Tama's relationship, though. Final Boomer said, WWE will have smaller ratings due to the World Series in the States. Oh, is that on today, is it? The World Series? Yeah, that will get a lot of attention if it's... I don't follow baseball, so I don't know. But if you're telling me that that's on tonight, then yeah, I can see that having an impact. Okay, right now we got Phoenix going against the ropes. Down goes Phoenix, though, with some outside interference. Solo is applauding away. Shinsuke is pure aura. Solo is merely just an aura farmer. For a second, I thought Shinsuke came down with Vikingo. Then I realized it was JC's face paint, says Rob. Alex said, Mullet Arena is just a small arena. It's mainly used for university sports. The Arizona Coyotes played there for their final season before the team was disbanded. Well, I don't know why they chose this arena. It's a very weird arena for WWE to run. I've got to think there's a bigger space. I mean, perhaps they just didn't have confidence that they were going to be able to fill this arena. But going for the cover. 1, 2. No joy. Kick out. Shots coming in, raining down. still at commercial break. Daze Smackdown is coming from the ASU, and that's why it's small. I don't know why WWE booked it. There are bigger arenas, right? Take a 1990, thank you. Perhaps they just, I don't know. Perhaps there wasn't availability. But if there wasn't availability, I wonder why they chose to run Arizona at this time. Don't know. It's a weird one. I honestly don't have an answer for that. I wasn't aware that we were running. It was only when we saw the entrance stage, and the entrance stage was so small, that always says they've done that because they want to get in as many people as possible. And of course, then we saw online it's like 5,000. I mean, honestly, I don't mind it actually, because it does give a slightly different flavor. I'm so used to seeing like the same setup and the same arenas. I'm really not down on this. It's just unusual. Okay, Tamatonga is in. We're still at commercial break. He collides into Ray Phoenix. We've got 20 seconds left, and then we're back from commercial break. JJ Con said, if every WrestleMania is now a bidding war, can anyone outbid Saudi? Nope. That is part of the concern. I don't know that WWE are going to allow every WrestleMania to be in Saudi, but equally, I think WWE are going to find it very difficult to turn down any Saudi bids. If Saudi want it, they're going to get it on a regular basis. Whether WWE would do a year in Saudi, a year someone else, a year in Saudi, a year somewhere else, kind of alternate it. But, I don't know, you know TKO, I know TKO. It could be a case that we do that first Saudi one, see how it goes, see how many people track, because, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns, isn't there? What if no one goes? What if no one travels? I mean, there will be the locals, but how many tickets are you going to sell? How many people are going to tune in? You are gambling a little bit with it's the first time of going out outside of North America. So it's a gamble. First time going outside of North America was always going to be a gamble. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't agree anything until they see how this one goes. And then once this one has kind of happened and they've got the numbers and they know what's happened, then kind of working from there, you know. Plus, also, we don't know if Saudi won another one. I mean, once they've had one WrestleMania, they might see that as a bit of a, okay, we've done that. Or they could be like, yeah, that was great. That worked really well. We want it again. And if they want it again, I don't know how you stop them. Because you're right, who's going to outbid them? No one. Here's Shinsuke. Shinsuke against the ropes. Knee strike, down goes JC. Rebecca, shout out to you. Rebecca joining the channel. Really appreciate it, buds. Shout out to everyone that's joining us as we are underway with match number 1. Kick coming in there by Shinsuke. JC is going over against reversing. It looked like he was going to get thrown in the corner, but Shinsuke with a kick to the back of the heads. Aubrey said, so you're saying that we should book WrestleMania to fail so that Saudi doesn't buy it forever? Well, I'm saying that if it did fail, it would give WWE food for thought, wouldn't it? I mean, the amount of money that you get is obviously important, but it's also important the amount of people that tune in. I mean, if people are going to not watch and people are not going to go, WWE are going to have a big, big problem because you are basically killing your major show. I mean, there's only one WrestleMania. And if they take money from Saudi and the end result is people don't watch it, people don't bother tuning in, then, yeah, I mean, they're going to have to take that into consideration because you can't do that year after year after year. So it is a gamble, them going to Saudi. There was a really interesting comment from Titus that was in Unseen yesterday. I tried to keep it as condensed as I could. It was really long, and he was singing the praises of Saudi. And I don't know if you're going to see more of that as we get closer to it. Superstars coming out singing the praises. I don't know if there's maybe a bit of pressure being applied for them to do that. I couldn't tell if these were his actual thoughts or if this is something that WWE have kind of, you know, requested. I mean, he is, I believe, under a WWE contract. Forearm shot coming in by Tama. Rey Fenix going against the ropes. Big boot there by Tama. Kick to the back of the head there by Rey Fenix. Phoenix is up, running on the ropes. Big boot. Tama goes down. Rey Fenix is climbing up. Tama, middle of the ring. Oh. I love how he jumped up and met that then. JC makes the save, only just. Shinsuke with a kick. Kick coming in. JC goes down. Tonga Loa jumps up. Big boot to him. Clothesline there by Tama. Shinsuke goes down. I mean, it's the MFTs that need the win here, isn't it? Going against the ropes. Top rope pulled down. Tama Tonga to the outsides. Rey Fenix looking to go up. Top rope. Corkscrew. Plancha. Lands on the outside. Takes down Tama Tonga. Solo is up and he's trying to distract the ref. Rey Fenix was trying to do a springboard, but it's Tama Tonga that gets involved. That's going to probably give the win now to the MFTs. Charging in. Elbow is going to get it for the MFTs, and they do. So there we go. Pretty standard open. It was fine and fast paced. There was some fun little moments in there. It was watchable, but I don't think it really meant a great deal. MFTs pick up the victory. Solo gloating, emoting as he walks away. If WrestleMania is a huge success, then we might not see a WrestleMania in the US for the next 20 years, said Simon. Well, if they want it, if it's a huge success, people go and the feedback's all good and the show's a success and they get loads of money. That's just the best of every world, isn't it? So, yeah, you could be right. Everyone knows it's Drew that hurt Jacob. I don't want a match. I want a fight. Okay, so it looks like we are going to get Jimmy against Drew in a no DQ match. Nick Aldis goes to his phone. There is Julia. She's on her phone. Oh, Nikki in the background again. So Nikki Cross in the background of this Chelsea-Julia conversation. I think it shows, doesn't it, that they're not quite done with Nikki. That might say that we're not going to bring a female into the MFTs. Because perhaps Nikki goes off after Julia. Oh, here's Kiana. I don't see Discount Diva on Julia's schedule. They're trying to recruit more Slagents. There we go. Arrivederci. Arrivederci. Okay, here's Tiffany. I feel like Drew actually didn't do the Jacob attack, said Ace. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's true. The question is, who was it? Who did do it? Okay. I realised that she's there. I genuinely almost shiz myself, said Alex. Okay, Tiffy time coming down, and it looks like we're going to commercial break. She doesn't have to be Scottish. Chelsea is Canadian. Those two are Scottish. It brings the whole Commonwealth, says Tony. Niall said, Daze, was it you that attacked Jacob? It was me. It's going to be such a shocking reveal. Okay, I think we've just got an advert right now for Halloween Havoc. This is taking place tomorrow night. We're doing the watch along. We've got UFC first, and then we're going to be doing that one afterwards. Right. Proper commercial break. We've got the graphic and everything. We're not just like doing an interview or anything. Okay. I think some people are afraid of DMing me because I'm pagan, said Sonny. Wrestlandia, hello. Daze, what would Booker be saying tonight if he was commentating in this match? Well, you'd probably get a shucky ducky quack quack moment, wouldn't you? You'd probably get lots of random noises. But I don't know. People find him fun. People find him entertaining. He brings an energy. Arrivederci. Right. To clarify, I do think that Tiffy is talented, but it just hasn't been working. Give her a good feud, said Dr. Luchalala. Give the women's title to someone new, said Robbie. SmackDown only has 3 viable contenders. Take a 99. He said Days Raw on December 1st is going to be in Arizona at the Desert Diamond Arena. That's got 20,000. I'll be there, said Take a 1990. So that's Arizona. That's in Glendale, though. So slightly a different area to this, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, perhaps they just really, I don't know what town we're in here. I don't know what city this is. Perhaps they just really wanted to run this city. And if there is another bigger arena in this city, I've got to think it's maybe just booked up. I've got to think that it just was not available. It's really weird. I honestly don't have an answer for it. I didn't even know that we were running this smaller venue until we got to the show. But yeah, you know, I don't mind it. Different. I don't think it's a reflection of business or anything like that, but it'll be interesting, though. Imagine if this was a bigger arena and then ticket sales were so bad that they decided to move. Imagine if it was that. That would be a story. That would be like WrestleMania 7, when we tried to sell out the Coliseum and then ended up having to move to a much smaller arena. I'm not aware of anything like that, though. One of the best shows I attended was Takeover Portland. That was just weeks before the pandemic, says Robbie. Big Time said, how bad is the SmackDown main event scene? It's pretty flat in it, to be honest. I mean, you've got Cody and you've got Drew. Solo feels a bit like a bust. Damian feels a bit like a bust. Kevin, I think, was on SmackDown. Roman was on SmackDown, of course, with the Bloodline. And they're not around anymore. Or if Roman does pop up, he tends to pop up on Raw. So, yeah, it's not great. I mean, it feels like we need a draft. We need a shake-up. We need to move some people around. We need to, freshen things up a little bit. I think that's been a bit of a problem this year, honestly. The fact that we've not had a little bit of a shake-up. I know we've moved the odd person here and there. We've moved Sammy over to Raw. Julia came over to SmackDown. We've kind of moved a few bits around. But, I don't know. It'd be good, wouldn't it, to sit down with a blank sheet of paper and go, right, we've got 50 spots on Raw, we got 50 spots on SmackDown. We can call up some NXT talents. Who we have in where? What's main event scene look like? Have we got a good spread? What's the mid-card look like? What's the women's division look like? What's the tag division look like? Let's call up a couple of NXT people. Just get it all kind of like, you know, mapped out and get a bit of a draft done. I don't know why you couldn't do that late December. I mean, I wouldn't do it, obviously, now because we've got Saturday night's main event. We got Survivor Series. Then straight after Survivor Series, a couple of weeks later, you've got the John Cena retirement, which is going to take up all the focus. But I don't know why you don't do it, like, you know, end of December. That you know, that week between, like, Christmas and... that week between Christmas and... New Year. You could probably do something there. Or you could do it early January. The only thing is, we do go on that European tour, don't we? But you could do it early January. I don't know if we're on the European tour. You could do it on the European tour. It does make a massive difference. You're only making some announcements. You don't even really need the people to be there. You just show the graphic, don't you? And then just say, you know, these changes won't come in for a few weeks. Get back to America and bang. They've got to find a way of getting it in somewhere. I don't know that it will be before Mania, but... Okay, bell has sounded. Bell has sounded, and we are underway. Tiffany against Kiana James. Let's get rid of this poll so we don't get confused. We are 40-odd minutes into this show. Show's been okay. I do think it's felt a little bit like we suspected, which is, you know, not the most essential show in the world. Liv, Bianca, Naomi leaving, Chad Gable... That stinks, said Josh. Wrestling Russ said, I expected better from Kiana. She needs to lose the stupid purse. Okay, right now we've got Kiana working on the arm. I hope this is a banger. I hope this works because I think Kiana, like, you know, still hasn't really got over with people. People still don't know anything about her. Tiffany is just going through a bit of a lull. Kiana gets flipped over. She does a backwards cartwheel. Nice flip there by Tiffany. Tiffany certainly can go to the gymnastics if needed. Nice kip up. Arm drag. Another arm drag there. Right now, working on the arm of Kiana. So, Tiffany in control. We got Julia on the outsides. Okay, right now we've got Kiana getting back up to her feet. Knee coming into the midsection. Over in the corner goes Tiffany. Kick coming into the midsection there by Kiana. And again, just laying in these stomps. Tiffany goes to the middle of the ring. Daze, do we think Randy turns heel anytime soon? Well, I would hope so, Chicken Nugs. I would hope so. I think that we do need some heels up there. I think Randy is definitely a future opponent for Cody. The belt wouldn't need to be involved. You could understand Randy costing Cody. Drew could then go off and be champion, and then Randy and Cody could, like, feud. You wouldn't have to have the belt involved. But you could have the belt involved. You could go either way. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a feud we should look at. It's got a lovely history to it, as of course. Lots that you can kind of dig into. Forearm shot coming in there. I mean, I think the belt might have to be involved because Randy has been looking at the belt. So... you know, it could be that he just wants to become champion again, but well, I don't know. You don't have to base the story on that. Okay, Tiffany goes into the barricades. She goes down and we go to commercial break. Braun Strowman show is on after Smack. Oh, is it, Corey? Braun Strowman's everything on the menu. That actually looks like it could be quite interesting. I think Michael Cole called Kiana James Nia James on commentary. Bailey just put in a message out about that. Right now, Kiana going for the cover and shoulder up. Kiana James arriving to take on Tiffany. Right, are you on board with Liv winning the Rumble? Yeah, don't mind. Don't mind that at all. I think there's a lot of great options for the Women's Rumble. I don't really have a dog in that fight. I wouldn't mind it being Lyra. I wouldn't mind it being Liv. I wouldn't mind it being Roxanne. I think there's a lot of people that want to see Roxanne kind of get an opportunity. Obviously, I don't expect it to be Stephanie or Tiffany right now because they are both the champs. Maybe if one of them lost the title before the Rumble, they could be in contention. I wouldn't go Tiffany, to be honest, because I think she's had a big year this year. And I think there's lots of women that can, you know, have a shot, have an opportunity. Julia is interesting. She's a mid-card title holder. You know, I don't know if I'd go with her. She's kind of got something going on at the moment. I don't know that she needs to be like, you know, winning a Rumble right now. She can win a Rumble. Does she need to win it right now as the US champ? I don't know. You look at Liv, you look at Roxanne, you look at Lyra, you look at Bailey won it the other year. Becky's a mid-card champ already. Same thing I just said about Julia, I'd say for Becky. You could even go maybe Alexa or Charlotte, but Charlotte won it recently. So, I think there's quite a few options, honestly. But Liv, I think, makes a lot of sense. Certainly with her not being around and absence makes the heart grow fonder. Last year, Roxanne killed it as the Iron Woman, said Ace. Metal Mama, hello. Hope you're well. I hope we get some rowdy surprises in the Women's Rumble, said Aubrey. Elbow drop there by Kiana. Crowd very quiet for this at the moment. Shoulder up there by Tiffany. We're still at commercial break. We've got about 30 odd seconds left to go, and we are about 50 minutes into this show. Chin lock, headlock being applied. I can't get that Chelsea Green comes in at number 30. The ring is empty. And that winning scenario that was scrapped, says Tony. David said, good morning. I have not seen yesterday. We smacked. Don't know what that's in reference to, David. But David, hello. I hope you're well. Dutch Luchalala said at this point and rate, it looks like Tiffany is going to hold on to that belt until next year. Yeah, they still seem to be very invested, don't they, in the still seem to be very invested in the whole Tiffany project. Okay, we're back from commercial break. Match was quite slow there, but hopefully it might pick up now. Tiffany Stratton getting her shoulder up. And shot coming in. Kiana with a shot punch to the heads. Going over against the ropes. Tiffany. Bang. Lovely. Does Tiffy have enough left in the tank? Both women are down. Okay, Julia on the outside trying to cheer on Kiana. Kiana just saying something there to Tiffany. Both women getting up. Forearm shot coming in. Forearm shot coming back there by Tiffany. Another forearm shot there by Tiffany. And again, knee coming down the middle. Clothesline there by Tiffany. And again. Kiana in the corner. Tiffany collides into Kiana. Tiffany against the ropes. She's going for that Alabama slam. Gets it. Tiffany has got a bit of momentum. She goes over to the crowd. She's trying to get the crowd fired up. That was good. Going through. She's looking to moonsault. Going up. Kiana moves. That was a good sequence there by Tiffany, actually. Oh, that was lovely. 1, 2, lovely. That was actually really good. Nice little sequence by both women there. I thought that Tiffany managed to get a bit of momentum going. I like how she involved the crowds. Falcon Arrow coming in by Kiana James. In the corner goes Tiffany. Kiana has got Tiffany up on top. Forearm shot coming in. Tiffany's issue is she doesn't have any allies, said Jennifer. She's annoyed everyone, so the numbers game can beat her. Hello, Jennifer. Hope you're well. Oh. Kiana goes down. I don't quite know what happened there. She's very close for the swanton, but she gets it. Now she's going to go for the prettiest moonsault. Gets it. 1, 2, 3. So Tiffany wins. Match was okay. I think there was some nice moments in there for Tiffany. Okay, Julia attacks. Julia jumps in and attacks. Big knee strike there by Julia. Now we know that. Oh, is that Jade? Oh, I wasn't expecting Jade to come out. Jade's running down. I was about to say about Nikki. Okay, well, Jade Cargill's come down. Big kick. Julia goes down. We've seen Tiffany and Jade feud in a way. Okay, so Jade looks over at Tiffany. She reaches out her hand. Okay, some respect between these two. Tiffany had dropped the belt. Jade picks it up, gives it back to Tiffany. I mean, Jade Cargill's probably an option, but it's not an option I would take. I did wonder if she was going to turn on her. Oh, yeah, she did. I did wonder if she was going to turn. It really felt like a turn was coming. You know when they're like holding up their arm for ages? Okay, well, Tiffany getting attacked right now by Jade. Jade isn't someone that massively moves my dial, so be a face, be a heel. I don't know. I'm not really bothered. This isn't an attack that's really doing anything for me, but... So Michael says that Jade has been frustrated in recent months and she's taking that frustration out right now. Stomp's coming in on Tiffany. We've done this feud, haven't we, though? I don't know. Perhaps we're positioning Jade to be... Maybe Jade will be the one. Perhaps heel Jade will be the one. She goes over. She's stomping away on Tiffany. Tiffany is down. Jade could have used a year or two in the NXT ring, said Dominic. Feels like they're a bit desperate to put the belt on Jade. Do you think so, Wild Dot? Do you think that's what it is? Do you think turn her heel and give her the belt? She didn't get it as a face. Is this the heel turn to make her a bit more interesting? I actually think Jade's better as a heel. She just stomped on Tiffany's leg there. That looked pretty moody. Are they going to sell that as an injury? She did just stomp down. Jade's in the ring. She grabs the belt. That leg stomp looked moody. Someone's really booing away there. There was someone really booing away. Jade walks away. Statement made. Statement made. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people are going to feel about that. To me, I think Jade needed to turn. I think I'm definitely here for a heel Jade. Allbrawl said it's sad when I don't care about the heel turn, but did you notice the guys looking at Linkin Park shirt? I didn't notice a Linkin Park shirt. Here's Sammy and Elia. Congratulations. I respect you so much. Legendary. I pass it on to you. Not everyone can do this. Look at Elia, mate. Look at Elia. Look how intense he is. I feel like he's about to punch me in the face. Go out there. Go do it. I mean, that was a good rah-rah speech from Sammy, but does Sammy not want a rematch? I mean, you don't get rematches, but it is an open challenge. I mean, Sammy could come walking out, couldn't he? Sammy doesn't need that mid-card title. He needs to set his sights on the world title. But, yeah, I mean, wow, Elia. So intense. So intense. Passing that on, it was good. It was a good little moment. I liked it. So I feel like a few things have gone down there. For me personally, it's hard to really get any sort of reaction to anything Jade is going to do because Jade just is there. She's just there. She doesn't move my dial at all. Whether she's face, whether she's heel, I'm not bothered. I do think she works better as a heel. I don't find myself necessarily rooting for Jade. I don't find myself feeling any kind of connection with Jade. You know, she's someone that came in from AEW who I don't think was of the highest quality in the ring. I do think she should have gone to NXT. I think they've put her with Bianca. And I think that, you know, there's been some improvement from Jade. I mean, I'd say she's better than she was when she was in AEW. But she's a far distance away from an Io or a Rhea or a Julia or a Stephanie or a Bianca or, you know, I mean, she does feel like a decent NXT talent. She feels like someone that's got $1 billion look and not much else. And so it's kind of really hard to, like, connect with her. I just struggle to connect with her. So, yeah, be her a face, be her a heel, be her on TV, be her off TV. I mean, they just haven't found a way of me caring. But I do think her being a heel is going to be better. I thought the attack looked pretty good. I'm still not really excited for Tiffany and Jade as a feud. I think part of the problem is I don't really care for Tiffany. I think Tiffany has stalled. I thought what she just did in that match was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought she had some moments, but that match was not a mind-blowing match. And actually, this has not been a mind-blowing year for Tiffany. Certainly, you know, winning the championship, holding it as long as she has been a hell of an achievement. But the match quality has not been very high. And so, I don't know. I mean, I'm just ready to take a look at someone else and for someone else to have a run with that top title. So this is going to be a bit of a challenging feud because I don't really care for Jade. I'm not massively invested in Tiffany at the moment. I mean, I like her as a potential talent. You know, I'd have Tiffany around a mid-card belt. I think Tiffany being around a mid-card title makes a lot of sense. Jade being around a mid-card title makes a lot of sense. But I don't know that I'd have them around the top title. I feel like we've got women that are better, that can deliver better matches, better promos. It just feels like these two are still learning. I feel like Tiffany's still learning. I feel like Jade is still learning. I personally wouldn't have them around the top belts. So that's why for me, this is just a bit... But I like the segment. I think it was the right thing to do. You can see that mark on Jade's face as well. Do you remember she got busted open a few weeks ago with that disastrous triple threat match? I think that was the last time we saw her, actually. And you can see the wound still on her head. She's come back as a heel. She's come back with her new attitudes. And I've got to say, it's a bit of a story. It's probably the most interesting thing we've done in a while for the Women's Championship. So, and then we had the Elia thing, which was very good. Jade is going to win the title. Bianca wins the Chamber, and then there's your Mania match, said Maca Rice. Well, I'm into that. I'm into that because Jade as a heel makes sense. And Bianca, I find a much more engaging babyface. So, yeah, Maca, I'm into that. Okay, we're with Jade backstage. This world does not reward patience. It rewards power. Okay, here is... the Mad Dragon. Ilya Dragunov is making his way down. Okay, who's his opponent going to be, though? That's going to be quite exciting. First hour of the show done. Who is Ilya's opponent going to be? Any thoughts? I've not heard any rumours. No, James is trying to help. James is funny, says Keegan. Kathy came in hot on those heels, said Jennifer. Tiffany isn't a wrestler. That's a new one, says Tony. She painted over the scar, said Spawny Boy. Well, so she should. If you've got an injury, if you've got a bit of a black eye, there's not really any point having a bit of a black eye. You might as well have a black eye. Put makeup on it. If you've got a scar, you might as well, you know, make it more dramatic. I'm not down on that. Kyle, hello. Hope you're well. I think one problem WWE has got a severe lack of managers. I think a heel Jade is a perfect candidate for a manager, but only the only true one WWE has is Heyman, said AKF. Okay, here is Ilya then. Let's find out what he is about to... who he's about to face. He looks emotional. Oh, God, he is emotional. Ilya's emotional. I really missed you. Wow. So they're letting him say a few words. Is this during commercial? Yeah, I didn't see the light at a lot of points. One thing that's not in my genetics is giving up. I stand in front of you as your new United States champion. I will defend this belt with all of my obsession. Okay, so the open challenge. I mean, he's going to get past this, I would imagine. So I don't know that this is going to be like a big name. Pain shall entertain you. Lights have gone out. Who's going to answer the open challenge? Is it Alistair? Oh, it is Alistair. Well, that's a good opponent. I would imagine that Ilya will get past Alistair. Oh, we're seeing a new entrance here featuring Zelina. I like this. I like this opponent for Ilya. Okay, so we've kind of got Zelina in the smoke. This does feel very Carrion Cross Scarlet. It's not massively grabbing me, honestly. I liked it when he rose up. Instead, we've just sort of got Zelina gyrating around. I think we could have added her a bit better into this entrance, honestly. Perhaps, like, it's... I don't know. I don't know. That didn't really do much for me. I don't quite see the vision. Is it like... Is it her kind of doing all of that and then he rises up in the background type thing I think they were going for? And then they just kind of come walking down and there's not really too much happening here. When Scarlett was leading Carrion to the ring, she was like walking out in front with a purpose. I think Zelina needs a purpose. She needs to walk out in front rather than just kind of by his sides. I mean, look, the entrance music's amazing. I'm glad we've not got rid of that. Now we're doing the bit in the ring. I mean, even this feels like a bit directionless. It looks a little bit like Alistair's head and Zelina's body. They look like one person. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That might need some workshopping. It's not terrible. I just think you could do better. It's like a fake Carrion and Scarlett. It is a Cross Scarlett redo. Well, that was something we pondered the first time that we saw these two together. We did ponder, did they part ways with Carrion and Scarlett because they knew that this was a partnership that they were going to be investing in? I mean, obviously these things can be in the works months and months and months in advance. Maybe it's people comparing them to Karrion and Scarlett. Yeah, but you can see why people would be comparing them. The comparisons are quite striking. Smackdown is in Temp tonight. Before leaving for a 2-hour drive back home, I checked Ticketmaster. The cheapest is $45. Cheapest tickets right now for Halloween Havoc, $32. $32 to get into Halloween Havoc's goods. Zelina on the edge of the ring. Do we see Braun bring the face of the company? Oh, I don't know if I see him being the face of the company. I think they're going to try and get him there, but that is obviously the ultimate goal. I don't know if Zelina will be as great as a manager, or for Alistair could be good. Thankfully, Alistair's like 50 times the wrestler that Karrion is, said Alex. Maybe this will prompt some "we want cross" chants, said LB. Maybe. If people do see that comparison, if they do see the similarities, if this does feel a little bit like a knockoff of Karrion and Scarlett, then, you know, that could gain some traction with people kind of going, no, we would rather have the originals. I mean, don't forget, Karrion and Scarlett have been, you know, doing this when they were in NXT going back before the pandemic. So those guys are they're been doing it a lot longer than Alistair and Zelina. People have already forgotten about Karrion and Scarlett in the crowd, said Simon. Well, you say that, but I believe that Karrion's documentary got over 1 million views the other day. So that would suggest that, okay, maybe the average casual fan has. But I still think there's a sizable audience there that's still very engaged with Karrion. It is interesting how that "we want cross" movement has not kind of bled into the crowds. It was very, very loud online, the whole "we want cross" thing, but it just didn't translate to the live crowds. But I mean, 1 million people watching your documentary and you're not even in WWE anymore is, I mean, that's a pretty good showing, honestly. Shot to the back of the head there by Alistair. Alistair Black digging in some shots, and he's got a front face lock applied there to Ilya. I get excited for Cross by his character work, but definitely not his wrestling, said Alex. Nothing against the guy, though. He's a wonderful person. Crowd a little bit quiet for this one. I don't think they really know Ilya too well, and obviously Alistair is well, just getting momentum, I would say, at the moment. Okay, right now, knee to the back. Very much Alistair in control. Are we at commercial break? Right, we are. That would explain why the match is a bit slow. Right, Keegan, see you for UFC. WrestleRant said, I'm still kind of shocked over the reaction Ilya got, or rather the no reaction to Ilya. Even during the promo, barely any noise. I don't find that too surprising. He is someone that hasn't been around for 13 months, came back, won the championship. It's going to be a lot of people that are not going to be familiar with him. I mean, I don't think you're going to become the hottest thing and get like all these loud cheers after one match. And he didn't really do a great deal on the main roster before he got injured. A lot of people that go to watch SmackDown and Raw don't watch NXT. Lovely kick coming back. I mean, we know that NXT's ratings are around that kind of 650,000 mark. We know that SmackDown last year was getting over 2 million views. So there's a chunk of people that just enjoy watching Jay, Roman, Punk, Becky. They're not interested in watching NXT and watching like the young talent. They'll just watch them when they come to the main roster. So I think there's a lot of people that have really seen Ilya, once last week. Suplex, German suplex there by Ilya. It's going to be down to Ilya to show these people what he's all about, show these people what he can do. David said, WWE creative just isn't that creative. They've ruined a lot of great potential with some trash storylines and booking. Big Mig said Carrion was great in NXT and then Vince wanted to make him a damn gladiator when he got called up. Perfume said, did you guys notice that Doug Malos was one of the security guards? I don't know who that is. Is that the guy from the Psycho Stew thing? It's been mentioned. Them using local talent for security guards is nothing new. So if we're in the same area as the Psycho Stew thing, then yeah, that makes sense. German suplex. Kick out there by Ilya. Okay, Zelina on the outside. Aleister Black in the ring. Triple H's writing is just not as good because he's using AI and McMahon was using his brain, said Wrestling Voids. Apparently they're not using AI for storylines at the moment. Apparently they haven't started doing it. It's going to happen. Aleister Black goes back to the corner. If you was to get a tattoo, would it be a fine line style? I don't have any interest in any tattoos. Shoulder up by Ilya. Zelina looking frustrated on the outsides. The last time the fans brought a wrestler back was R-Truth, and then they've reburied him, said Jennifer. Benny said, how more would we like Unreal to get? Maybe a day in the life of Nick Khan or mental image of what Triple H is thinking. I love Unreal. I'm definitely down for whatever they want to give me. Clothesline there by Dragunov. For those that aren't fans of it, just don't watch it. That's my advice. If you're not a fan of Unreal, you don't like the business being exposed on that level, don't watch it. It's fine. You don't have to watch everything. But for me, as someone that's really interested in the creative process, really interested to get a glimpse in that room, I give them a lot of grief because I think that they have dropped the ball quite a bit in 2025. I don't think that creative team is set up correctly. I'd love to get more of an insight. Is it that there are some really good ideas that get shot down? Is it that there's good ideas that when it gets brought to the table, just everyone wants to have their voice heard and the good ideas just get lost? I'd love to get a glimpse in there and see what's kind of happening with that creative process. And I think, if there's a great match or a bad match, we'd all love to know what Triple H said to the wrestlers. What kind of feedback did they receive? Is there some areas that the wrestlers are being told they've got to work on? And if so, how do they go about it? I mean, this is all the kind of stuff that I think wrestling fans are really interested in. And this is all the kind of stuff that Unreal can explore. But, I mean, look, there's people out there that don't like it, and that's absolutely fine. They're entitled to not like it. I can understand why they don't like it. Wanting to protect the business, I get that. But, again, they don't have to watch it. No one's making them watch it. H-bomb is blocked there by Alistair. Knee up there by Alistair, and this match has been a little bit... It's not been like the same quality as like the Sammy ones. Crowd are liking it though. The crowd are giving it a "this is awesome" chance. So the live crowd are entertained. So it's not a bad match. Both are down at the moment. We've got about 39 minutes left to go in this one. Kick coming in there by Alistair. Lots of outside interference by Zelina. She's been getting involved in this match as Alistair grabs Ilya. Uppercut coming in there by Alistair. Ilya goes back. Kick coming in there by Alistair as Ilya goes down. Ilya is up in the corner. We got another forearm shot coming in there by Alistair. Looking for a suplex. Shot coming in there by Ilya. Headbutt by Ilya. Crowd are very quiet. It's very weird because the crowd is saying this is awesome, but right now you could hear a flipping pin drop. Right now we've got Alistair in the corner looking for a superplex. Okay, we've got, we're coming back from the commercial break. Ilya is up top. Perhaps in this kind of finishing run, we'll see. Nice drop kick there. We'll see the pace quicken. Ilya grabbing his neck, climbing up. In the corner, Alistair Black down. Let's get rid of this pole. Bang. Senton off the top by Ilya, going for the cover. 2, no joy. Zelina on the outsides. Okay, so far we've had good 94, good 92. Ilya reaching out to the fans. Charging over. Oh, big knee there by Alistair. Catches Ilya. Picks him up. Brainbuster. That was good. 1, 2. Kick out. And he does. Ilya kicks out. Alistair. Yeah, that was a really good spot, actually. That was a really good sequence. Big knee strike there by Alistair. Followed by a massive brainbuster, a move that you really don't see that often in WWE. Alistair back in the corner, match in a nice little phase. Ilya collides into Alistair. Is still holding onto his neck as he... Is he okay? Dragunov is down. Dragunov really feeling pain there. He's back in the corner, rising up to his feet. He's in the corner looking for the H-bomb. Zelina trips him over. Zelina again getting involved. Alistair, double axe handle. Ilya goes down. Are we going to do a title change? I mean, we've got Zelina getting involved on the outside. We got Ilya really selling his neck. He's kicked Zelina away from ringsides. Okay, so Damien's coming out now. What's Damien gonna do? Is he gonna grab Zelina and carry her to the back? Or It's punishment time. Well, we got Damien in the entranceway. Zelina has been told. All right. He's got a burned eye. Oh, Alistair was distracted, and that's... Oh, God, that sucks as a finish. That sucks. Basically, Alistair's distracted, turns around, just eats an elbow, and that's it. Ilya retains. Not a fan of that finish, but whatever. We was getting a really fun match, and you know, the brainbuster and all of that, really good. And then it's like we just turned the match off, and instead we've moved to a different focus, and that focus is Damien. Okay, Alistair getting thrown to the outsides. So right now we got Damien and we've got Alistair brawling. What a god-awful start to the Ilya Open Challenge, said WrestleRants. I suppose it was a bit tricky, wasn't it? In the sense of Alistair's just done this big turn and aligned with Zelina. And so they didn't want him to lose clean. I think there was better ways of going about it, though. Right now, Damien is with Alistair. From behind, Zelina jumps on the back of Alistair, of Damien. And Alistair and Zelina are going through the crowds. Dragunov looks like he cuts his own hair, said Josh. Did you know, said Varlon, that Sheamus, LA Knight, CM Punk, carrying across Seth Rollins became security guards in the 2000s? Did fans recognize them? Well, no, because a lot of the times they were like emerging talents. So it's not that, you know, they were really known at that time. You see it a lot in NXT. I mean, Bron Breakker was a security guard in NXT. It's quite often, actually, whenever there are security guards, it's worth just having a look because they're normally either NXT talent or they are like local talent that has been brought in. Performance center talent, people like that. So there's a lot of occasions where wrestlers will be used as security guards, but they're not really ever wrestlers that are known. You know, they're kind of emerging talents. Okay, we have got Carmelo backstage with Kathy. The Miz is a future Hall of Famer. He crossed the line when he put his hands on me. That is the point of no return. Be good to get this match booked, wouldn't it? I'd like to know when we're doing it. We're even. Okay, so Carmelo's like, we're even. I don't think The Miz is going to let that slide, of course. Oh, here's Kit Wilson. Toxic masculinity. He might know who attacked Jacob. I'll see you next week. So Carmelo and Kit Wilson are going to have a match next week. I don't really understand this toxic masculinity gimmick. I don't really get it. Okay, is this our main event? Jimmy and Drew? I think we've done everything else, haven't we? We've only got 29 minutes left to go, and we go to commercial break. Oh yeah, next week, go home for Saturday night's main event. Nikki Bella takes on Roxanne. Boom. Okay. Nothing about this Mellow Miz feud has got my interest, said Jay. I really hope this is the finish of those two. Jordan said, Daze, it would have been a great entrance if Selena was bringing the big snake. Like, oh yeah, that would have been interesting. I'll tell you, I mean, the entrance is okay. I just think it could be better. I think part of the problem for me is it just feels like we've just shoved her in. I don't really feel like we've redesigned that entrance to make it work for the both of them. I feel like we've just got Zelina sort of doing these kind of things in the front, and that's it. I mean, that really is it. And then she just like walks to the ring with him. And it's like, that's on it. That again, it's like, that's the best you could come up with. Like, that's it. That's the big idea. I mean, it would be difficult to obviously like have a snake go around. Obviously you've got, there might be challenges with that. I don't know where we are in the modern age with animals being used as like performers for like live things. I mean, I'd imagine there's a bit of red tape there now. Certainly it's not like when Jake was carrying a snake around. I'd imagine there's a lot more kind of sign-offs needed and animal welfare checks and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I agree with you. It would definitely add. But, I mean, you'd have to be careful that the snake didn't bite anyone. I mean, if she had it on her shoulders as she was coming down, the snake could obviously lash out at someone that's kind of in the on the front row of the aisle. So, I mean, you'd have to, like, take that into consideration. You know, Jake used to obviously carry the snake down in a bag. It wouldn't be as good if Zelina just had it in a bag. When would she actually get it out? I don't think she needs a gimmick of being basically the new Jake the Snake Roberts. But I get what you're saying in regards to it would have looked better if she had it as part of that entrance presentation. And I do agree, but I can see the restrictions. I can see the issues. I don't know. I don't really have an alternative as to what they could have done. It just feels like she was shoved in. It doesn't feel like anything that special. And as I said, she was just sort of walking down to the ring with him when I feel like there could have been a bit more of a purpose. We could have done something a bit bigger. I suppose in a way, what do they represent? We know that they are really about a darkness. I mean, there's candles and... But I mean, I don't know, do they go in for like human sacrifice? Have we got like any kind of a channeling of spirits, or I don't know what they are. Do they just like candles? Do they just like you know, the spooky side of life? I don't know. We haven't really dug into their characters, have we? So without knowing that, I don't know what I would have brought into the entrance. But I just thought it could have been better. You'll probably see a lot of praise for it online, though, because, I mean, they look good together. I'll give them that. But I thought they looked good anyway. I didn't need this entrance to tell me that they look good together. I know that. I just think the entrance could have been presented better. Okay, we're backstage with Elia. Okay, here's Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Could that set up a match? We would both love to challenge you. It's for everyone and anyone. Okay. So he's just letting them know you can answer it. Ah, here's DIY. Pinky and the Brain. So Candice is still with them. Yeah, that's true. I thought we were getting a match. Okay, so is this going to be a tag match or a singles match? You're a waste of our time, says Candice. Oh. Tala. Yeah. Tala out of makeup. Just letting Fraxium know you're in our sights. Oh, God, I only just realised we didn't get the Wyatts earlier. Okay, we got Nikki. We got Alexa and Charlotte. So Bailey and Lyra against Alexa and Charlotte. Here's Nia. Okay, so Nia's saying she's just waiting for the one to stab the other in the back. If you are looking for the old me, it's not hard to find, says Alexa. Are we doing a singles match here? Oh, it looks like we are. Nia said, see you next week. Okay. Well, it looks like they're going to be defending the tag titles on Monday, and then it looks like Alexa has got a match with Nia next week. Right. Let's end the poll so we don't get confused. Looks like we're going over to our main events. Tamatonga and his yeah, said Amethyst Pieces. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I think the finish of that last match did underwhelm. It's a bad night for in-ring tonight. MFTs against Shinsuke and Rey Fenix, good 94. Tiffany against Kiana, good 92. Elia against Aleister Black, good 92. Is this Drew Jimmy match going to save the in-ring part of this show? I think this show has been a little strange, honestly, because I feel like some things have happened. Obviously, we had the Jade heel turn. That was obviously very notable. And, you know, we've got to see Alistair and Zelina and, you know, Damien's come back. And so we've had a little bit of something there. There's not really been anything massive that's gone down. Just little bits. And I think the in-ring has been a bit off. So, but there's been these like backstage segments, you know, the Jimmy things, interesting. Jimmy is over here attacking Drew, standing up for Jacob. So, I mean, you know, there's a couple of interesting bits, but by and large, it's not been the strongest SmackDown. Tyler said, I think the show's been a bit hard to watch. Okay, I was wondering if it was just me. Defcon said, my hot take is that the fake real injuries are the closest to kayfabe that this generation can experience. It does keep the illusion like a character actor, said Defcon. 22-minute match. I think that shenanigans in the main event, said Simon, thinking Jay, Cody, Punk. Tony said, I think he's going to Claymore him into next week. Okay, well, main event coming up. Drew versus Jimmy. How is this going to play out? How are we going to wrap up this week's show? Bang, bang. Restaurant said, I kind of liked that that little pop-up by Tama. Also, he's looking real buff. He has put on some good muscle. Yeah, I agree, actually, yes. Daze, the only Wyatt 6 member today was Nikki. Yeah, I'm shocked. I really thought the rest of them were going to pop up in that MFTs match. Everything in One said, I noticed if Raw is bad, then SmackDown is usually bad. And if Raw is good, then SmackDown is good, said Everything in One. Robbie said, Drew did not attack Jacob. Drew only tells the truth. Sonny, hello, shout out to you. And Trini said, how I know the show wasn't a good one is by the fact that for the first time in weeks, I haven't stopped reading the chat to watch anything. Lindsay said, is it on? It is on. James said, what if it was Orton who attacked Jacob? That would be good. That would be fun. That would take us down an interesting road. I mean, that anger that Cody feels towards Drew, I wouldn't completely turn to Randy. I think it would be confusion. He'd want to know why. I don't know the reason why. To get attention, to make a statement, to take out a major threat. I'm not sure why he would have done it, but I mean, you can find a reason. What if it's Cody that attacked Jacob, said Joe. Well, that would take us down a completely different road, doesn't it? I mean, all of a sudden then we've got heel Cody, and we're going down a completely different road. I think it was Drew that attacked Jacob, said Richards. William said, I hope the main event is interrupted by a drunk Chelsea Green. She could walk out and go heel, stand up at the wrestlers. Go heel, stand up at the wrestlers in AEW. I don't know what that means. I had you for the first part, but you lost me for the second part. WWE is background noise, said Zoom Station. Yeah. Looks like people are struggling a little bit this week, and that's okay. We have good shows and bad shows. I mean, I must admit, there isn't really anything here that I've kind of lost my mind over. I think the thing we probably was most meant to get invested in was the Jade turn. That's the one that we were probably most meant to be shocked by, but I think you really have to care about Jade to actually care about the turn. Okay, here we go. Big Jim. Drew in the ring. Big Jim making his way out. We got 16 minutes left. Here he is. Here he is. They are calling it a mystery. Jimmy is being fueled by this mystery. What if it's Jimmy? What if it's Jimmy? What if it's Jimmy and Jimmy's out here trying to claim that it's Drew to take the focus off him? If Jimmy turns on Jay, he could then reveal that he was also the person that attacked Jacob. And it could be that he's just had enough of his family that keep letting him down. Enough of his family that are just not there for him. That just don't support him. And so he's now having to do things on his own. There's a way forward with that as well. Jimmy is a chance. Cole just said Saturday night's main event will be on Netflix internationally now. Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's good. It doesn't make a massive difference, but, you know, I'll take it. Tiffany Jade is also Saturday night's main event. They just showed a graphic for that moments ago. Are they chanting, "We want tables"? Jimmy against the ropes. Big boot coming in. Clothesline there by Jimmy as Drew goes to the outsides. Jimmy going against the ropes. Shot coming in there by Drew. Jimmy getting caught. Rikishi could have helped him. He's got experience after running down Austin, and he could manage Jimmy. That could be fun, couldn't it? I think Rikishi's ill, though, isn't he? I'm sure that Rikishi has had some health problems recently. So, if it weren't for that, though, that could be fun. Okay, Drew has gone in the crowd and is walking away. I'm not sure why. Jimmy is going out after him. Let's try and... I need to catch up with some of these super chats. Corey said 16 going on 69 months. Oh, hello. Good luck if you get to 69 months. That's a very sexy anniversary. Wrestling Russ said, Daze, thanks to you in the chat for 16 months. Wrestling Russ, shout out to you, my friends. Niall wondered if it was me that attacked Jacob. No, Jacob survived. If I had attacked Jacob, he'd be a dead man. The fact that he is alive right now means it can't have been me. The evidence is right there, isn't it? Drew gets thrown back to the ringside area. Richard said, Daze, I've been really busy. I'll be 44 on Sunday, said Richards. Well, Richard, happy birthday, buds. Happy birthday. 44. You're just a spring chicken. They say life begins at 44. So, I hope you have a very good birthday on Sunday, buds. Ah, Big Jim's got a table. This is what they wanted. Gamer Bro, shout out to you, buds. Welcome, welcome. And Camvlog said, Jimmy needs something new. It would be good if it was. What, him? I wouldn't mind it being him. I would just hope that the creative would allow him to shine. You know, if you're going to give him something like that, something that big, of it being him that attacked Jacob, and you're going to do a big thing where he turns on Jay and you're going to turn him heel, I hope you've got the creative support ready, you know? What's the entrance music? What's the ring gear look like? Oh, hello. Drew just spat something out there. Ugh, I don't know why you did that. I don't think it was sick, but he did just like spit something out there. I don't know what that was. Kick coming down there by Drew. Okay, booze ringing out. Oh. Jacob out for a number of weeks. So Jacob out for a number of weeks. Drew has consistently said it's not him. I believe it's not him. Corey said Drew is always the first to be blamed. It could be anybody. Okay, Jim goes over to the corner. What is this from Bailey?
Ding dong. Say hi, Carol. Say hi. I was thinking about what a great friend I've become to Lyra Valkyria. And vice versa. She's also a great friend. Works both ways. And we're an even better tag team.
Okay. So Bailey has put a little message out in regards to... So she said, I spent 1 minute 14 of my sweet, precious time just for you guys to mumble 6 words. Those tag titles deserve more. Hashtag disrespect. So I don't think Bailey is impressed with the response that she got. Drew has got Jim on the shoulders. Big Jim. Big Jim goes down. I didn't see this. She posted a video a couple of hours ago where I think she called out Charlotte and Alexa. They then responded on the show, and Bailey was not very impressed with the response. Big Jim on the barricades. Comes down, gets caught by Drew. And belly-to-belly suplex. Jim down. We got 8 minutes to go. Robbie said they're going to do a whole backstage camera mystery to figure out who attacked Jacob. Maybe whoever it is did it for The Rock. Are we still talking about Cody attacking Jacob last week, said Rob? It's definitely one of the names that gets mentioned. I don't know that that's the direction it goes, but it's one of the names that gets mentioned. I think Jimmy has got a chance. I think Randy has got a chance. I think Cody has got a chance. Cody would not be my favourite, though, of the suspects. Drew is the one I think WWE want you to think it is. Cody would be like, I did it for The Rock, said Robbie. NXT Anonymous. We do need NXT Anonymous, yes. Okay, Drew has got a steel chair. What about Tama, said Justin. Well, one of the MFTs and Solo has definitely got a chance, but it's not a very exciting option because they're heels already, and you would sort of expect them to be, you know, if it turns out to be them, it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. You know, it's kind of like, all right, well, they're heels. They've been taking people out. So, yeah, I mean, there's a chance of them, but I think it would be a bit underwhelming if it turned out to be them. Plus, I would imagine that they would take responsibility. They're not worried about saying it was them, you know? So if it, I would just wonder why they hadn't come out this week and said, we dealt with Jacob last week and took ownership for it. I mean, they've been getting in the ring, attacking Shinsuke and the Wyatts, and shot coming in there by Drew. The MFTs would be a lazy option, says Robbie. Maybe it was Rikishi, said Benny. A lot of people really want it to be connected, don't they, to that I did it for The Rock. Maybe it was The Rock who did it for himself. Drew going against the ropes. Oh, nice. Drop toe holds. Drew goes face first into the chair. Duran said it was Jade's. JC Dub said, I think it was Jay. Big Jim trying to get back into this. 6 minutes to go. Drucifer said, watch it be Andrade. Okay, right now we've got Drew trying to get up to his feet. We got Jimmy trying to get up to his feet. Crowd are chanting, this is awesome. So the crowd are into this as the main event. Right now, Big Jim looking to go over to the corner. Okay. Comes off the top. 2. Kick out. Kick out. Right now we got Drew down. He's looking at the chair. He's going to use this chair. It's all legal. Jim. Bang. And again. Unloading on Drew. Drew down. Jimmy looking out at the crowds. Looks like he's going to set this table up. The Slim Jim table. Slim Jim, Slim Jim, Slim Jim, Slim Jim. Big Jim, Slim Jim. The perfect tag team. Drew, though, kick coming into the midsection. Double underhook, future shock DDT. Jim goes down. Drew looking for the cover. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. And right now we have got both guys down. Both guys down. Drew is back in the corner. Oh, look at that. Samoan drop through the table. Nice spot. Nice spot. Good spot. He's got a chance. Drew is down. I don't know that he's quite in the right position, though. I don't know how Jimmy's going to navigate this, but I'm sure he can. But it doesn't matter. Drew got up anyway. Drew got up, used the chair, hurled it in the face of Jim. Claymore incoming. 3 minutes left. Here we go. Bang, connects. Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre gets the victory. You can see some marks all over Drew's body. Okay, so Drew wins. Match was probably the best match of the night. I mean, obviously it was a street fight, so you could fight in the crowds. Yeah, Claymore wins it. We got a couple of minutes. I just wonder if there's going to be... I mean, are we going to get Cody coming out? Does Drew start beating up on Jimmy and then we bring out Cody? That would make sense. Yeah. He's got a chair. He's going to put the chair over the head of Jimmy. As he said, time running out. This will surely bring out Cody. What if it doesn't bring out Cody? That'd actually be more interesting. If Cody doesn't come out. Oh. I mean, now he comes out. I actually thought that was quite interesting. We brought down some officials. Could you imagine, though, if Cody hadn't come to Jimmy's rescue? If Jimmy's the one that did attack Jacob, and he's upset because people aren't there for him, that would have been an amazing example of people not being there for him. But Cody does come out. He's getting in the ring and he's going over to check on Jim. Get somebody out here. Okay, Drew's getting him. Drew's getting him. Claymore to Cody. Cody gets laid out. Well, that's not helped, has it? Now Cody's down. Jimmy's down. Drew is over Cody. I just wondered if he was going to say something. No, show comes to an end. Had a bit of a go-home show feel, that. Felt very go-home show. It's an end with Drew standing tall. Homelander versus Highlander, said EST. Drew got the momentum. He'll definitely win the title, said Johnny. Lone Star Friend, shout out to you. Hector said, Daze, I'm new to the streams. Do we do additional streams? It's all love from Spain. Hector, shout out to you. Well, I don't know why we've got a lot of extra people around this week. I was not anticipating that. But welcome, everyone. Everyone's always welcome here. Yeah, we do SmackDown, we do Raw, we do NXT, we do Evolve, we do the PLEs. We're back tomorrow. We're doing UFC. As soon as UFC ends, we'll be doing Halloween Havoc. So, I mean, we're doing all of those things. So, yeah, I mean, we do a lot of streams. I mean, you can look at the channel, click on live, you'll see we stream pretty much every day. We're doing something, and we've got 2 big streams coming up tomorrow. So, yeah, it's just a bit of a shame, honestly, because I don't know if, like, it's me or if it was just a bit of an off show. I can't quite tell. But, like, normally we have a bit of a laugh, and there's a lot of things for us to have a bit of fun with. I really struggled on this one to really find stuff to really get into. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, perhaps MFT's Shinsuke Rey Fenix was just a bit random as an opening match. I don't mind the MFTs. We're doing a bit of work with them at the moment, but I don't know. I mean, I sort of feel like they should have looked a bit better in that opening match. If we're trying to build them up, trying to make them out to be this big threat, you know, then I think, you know, they need to murk a few people. And a random team of Shinsuke and Rey Fenix. I think we could have maybe done a bit more of a number on that team. Tiffany Kiana, I don't think too many were excited for that, and the match was okay. Elia Alistair, honestly, I was a bit underwhelmed. And then Drew Jimmy, I think it was the best match of the night. You would expect that, though, of the main event and a street fight. But even that was not, like, mind-blowing. And then, you know, a bit predictable with Cody coming down. I think talking points, what have we got? I mean, there are little bits like, oh, they're building this match and that might go to here and, you know, but, you know, Nikki in the background and Jade turn, I think, was probably the biggest one. But, yeah, I don't know. For me... okay. I mean, I would say acceptable as a show, but I think if the show was to be this kind of level week in, week out, I don't think the ratings would be very good. I think people would be a bit bored. I think it lacked a bit of excitement, to be honest. So, yeah, a bit of a shame that people have joined us on a show that I think was a bit flat. A little bit like it needed a bit more excitement to it. It just felt a bit like a go-home, is what I would say. It felt very much like Saturday night's main event is tomorrow, and this was a bit of a go-home show for it, rather than it being the week, kind of a week in advance. So, yeah, we'll do an opinions video, and we'll see if I'm on my own on that. To be honest, though, I've just done the poll, and... it looks like this main event has come out as just being goods. So it seems like even that main event didn't really blow you guys away. Normally the main event gets a great rating. If I'm to judge this show off the matches, right, then we've had 4 matches. First one was good 94, second was good 92, third was good 92, and the main event was good 94. Not a single match got over good 95. And normally at least one match would get into the great range. So, I mean, that says to me that you guys weren't blown away by the matches. I don't think there was anything that exciting backstage. I've got to think this was a bit of a so-so show. And, yeah, sod's law that so many people would be like, oh, I'm new round here on a so-so show, you know. There's been better this year, definitely. So, there we go. That was WWE sources say that Andrade is not factored into any of their plans. Despite rumours going around, WWE sources have told Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful Select that as of this moment, Andrade is not factored into any plans, but they would not elaborate beyond that. So, don't know. That's the latest in regards to Andrade. Big Jim broken, Slim Jim broken, Cody Rhodes broken. That's what Wrestle Talk have said. Jade Cargill leaving Saturday night's main event as the women's champion is the only scenario that makes sense. And you know what? I do agree. I do agree. It doesn't really make any sense to have Jade try for the title as a heel and lose again. And I feel like we've done all we can do with Tiffany. I feel like I've seen everything Tiffany can show. And I feel like we could freshen things up. Heel Jades. Yeah, I agree. Daze, it really is going to bugger WWE fans who attacked Jacob. It was an awful SmackDown. It was flat, and it did need to pick up the pace. But does Jade win fair and square, or does she get help? That's a good shout. I mean, maybe she gets help. G doggy dog. And then that could be quite interesting and take us down an interesting road. Tiffany, Jade, Priest, Alistair, Cody, Drew all had the same kind of post-angle brawl. It was very copy-paste. Simon said, I'm also new a bit to this community, but I keep coming back. And we know that tomorrow is Halloween Havoc, said Simon. Well, you're right. You're right. Let's just put this down as a bit of an off show. And that's okay. They happen. But yeah, I am really looking forward to Halloween Havoc. I think that card actually looks quite good. I'm genuinely looking forward to that show. I just hope I've got some voice left after doing UFC. We're doing UFC in the day, so hopefully I'll have some voice left. But actually, that show should be fun and enjoyable. So if that's of interest to you, the Hardys are on that show. So if that's of interest to you, swing by, say hello, share your comments. And Raw has been not bad in recent times. So I'm optimistic going into Monday as well. So there we go. Appreciate all the feedback and everyone joining us and all the new faces around. Lovely to see so many people. King Mello, thank you, my friend. Welcome. Appreciate all the support. I'm going to work on the breakdown video where we're going to talk about everything that just happened in SmackDown. I'll get that recorded and up in the next like half an hour, and we'll get like a community opinions video out as well. And if I get a chance, I'll try and get Unseen done. So plenty on the way on the channel, and I will see you tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.